This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the first episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Plus, Morbius gets delayed again. The Batman has a new trailer. There's more Micheal Keaton Batman coming. Is the Flash movie setting up a new Justice League? Who will be introduced into the MCU in the Doctor Strange sequel? Spider-Man No Way Home continues to make all the money, and a bunch more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, January 3rd, 2022.
Hey, what's up? It's Taylor Gray, the voice of Ezra Bridger on Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Jock it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We jock it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh, yeah.
Hello, what's up, listener? Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you... It's not time for the boing yet. I have to say, where we give you comic book and superhero TV and movie news reviews and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. There's the boing. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, he's still covered in goo, having just crawled out of his own Sarlacc pit. It's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Just call me Boba Fett.
Yes, we will call you Rug Boba Fett.
We should call the guy who plays Boba Fett Boba Fett.
Well, wait. We'll see. He's
I mean, he's in good shape. He's
listen.
Right.
He's up in age, but
yeah.
Hey, what is that? I was trying to think of what's the modern day equivalent of a Sarlacc pit. It's Walmart, isn't it? It's Walmart.
Oh shit! Oh, sorry. What? You go in there and you die?
Yes, and you
get slowly digested.
You get slowly digested.
What are you going with that?
You got to claw your way out, and you barely leave alive. That happens to me at Walmart. I don't know.
I don't know if I can go with you on that.
No, that one's a tough stretch.
I couldn't think of another.
That's
analogy.
a journey that I couldn't go on, Imran.
I mean, Walmart's an interesting place,
Yes,
but I don't know
it
if it's
is.
as interesting as a Sarlacc pit. Or it's a different kind of interesting.
Listen, there's stormtroopers in a Walmart. There were a stormtrooper in the Sarlacc pit. I don't know. It's a different kind of Sarlacc pit. Anyways, you come out covered in goo still. That's what all I'm trying to say. Okay, let's get to some geek news, you bastards. The Jock and Nerd podcast. Oh, thanks to Rug Boy, we have some breaking news. I mean,
I didn't do it.
As breaking as you can be.
Rug Boy on the scene.
Rug Boy on the scene. As breaking as you can get on a recorded podcast that comes out like 2 days after.
We're like at a sporting event. We got breaking news here. We got to cut to Rug Boy live on location.
Live on Hollywood Boulevard. It's Rug Boy from the Hollywood Reporter. Rugs, why don't you break this news since you alerted me? I think it's important. It happened half an hour ago.
Jared Leto's Morbius is being pushed to spring amid Omicron surge.
Yes, that's the big news. We haven't had like a delayed movie in a while. Have you noticed that? They were all kind of rolling out.
Well, that was weird because Morbius was going to compete with Spider-Man, and they're both Sony movies. So maybe it's good that they're for them money-wise, I guess. Keep the money train rolling in on Spidey.
So just to get the dates down, originally this movie, Morbius, was supposed to come out July 10th, 2020. Oh, shit. Then it got moved to July 31st, 2020. Then it got pushed to March 2021. Then it got pushed to October 2021. Then it got pushed to January 21st, 2022. And then this last date was January 28th, 2022. It was going to be the next superhero movie that was going to come out later this month. Now, April 1st, 2022. That is the 7th date it has got.
Does it win a award or something?
It should win. We should give it applause.
Is it like a Guinness World Record for most time?
Morbius.
You had that as a clip?
Oh, I got everything as a clip here. Come on. Are you kidding?
What's the weirdest clip you got? Throw it on there right now.
Applause.
You got to have applause. You nenever know.
What's the weirdest thing you got on that machine there?
The weirdest thing would be...
Or the most unexpected thing?
Hold on. Okay, it would be...
You only got like 16 of them, right? Or 12?
No, I have this new thing has tons of pads. So here we go.
Get out of the city.
Well, Balky Bartokopoulos? Come on.
Yes.
You can't go bad with
Balky. You need unexpected Balky. I think I like it.
You've never used that one.
No, I use it on the other show, Dance of Joy, a Perfect Strangers rewatch
That makes
podcast.
more sense.
That's I got the sounds all together.
I love a good Balky. You have another balcony in there?
I got another balcony. You want me to use all the balcony clips?
Let me hear all the
Come on.
balconies.
Who do you think you're talking to? Somebody nice?
That one? Hold on. And then I like this one.
What are we talking about?
That one we can use a lot.
Oh, that one, yeah, you definitely can use.
What are we talking about?
No, get out of the city.
No, get out of the city is great. Oh, and then here's the last one.
Cousins should joke more.
Yes, they should.
See, you hear a little bit of Larry Appleton in that one. It's very special.
Larry Appleton.
Anyways, back to fucking Morbius. They're saying it's Omicron. But do you think they may try to fucking shoehorn a Spider-Man in here maybe, and a thing now that they've seen? Because it's weird. They just made, we'll talk about how much money this Spider-Man No Way Home made, over $1 billion.
Not enough time to put anything in something.
I mean, a lot. You could do a post-credit scene. A lot of people, I think,
maybe a post-credit. Yeah.
many people forgot this movie was coming out this month also, so it might help. Anthony will help get more butts in the seats to push this back to April.
Possibly, I think it will. I think the Omicron thing is a real concern for movies not called Spider-Man No Way Home. So I somewhat think this is actually a smart decision.
I think the timing on Spider-Man was like it just slid in.
Yes.
Right before.
Yes.
Right as Omicron was breaking here.
Absolutely. It fit in the little window we had for a second where we thought everything was cool.
Like that first wave was like literally the week after it came out. Yeah. So
that's what it seemed like.
It just beat the fucking.
And if you look at like other movies, not Marvel, like West Side Story or Matrix Resurrections, they've done terrible.
Yeah, they're not doing well.
Morbius, that one's like kind of tricky because there's a lot of fans that might consider it part of Marvel, and I guess it kind of is, although it isn't really made by MCU. So yeah, that one was, I think, pushing it back to April. Hopefully the wave moves. We get that over the wave and people are a little more excited to go to theaters.
The thing about Morbius is it doesn't. Okay, so we know that it's in the Venomverse or maybe somewhere adjacent.
Definitely
to that.
in the Venomverse.
Yeah.
But it also looks like a kind of a serious film. It doesn't look like it's like legitimately a crazy movie like Venom was. Like that made no sense and was just like, what the fuck am I watching? I think it'll be a more straightforward film.
It looks a little bit better. Yes.
It's probably way more predictable, by the books type of movie.
And I mean, Vulture, Micheal Keaton's going to be in this, so they're trying to connect it. But I think the general audience, the people who saw Spider-Man No Way Home 3-4 times already, I don't think they have any idea that this has any connection to Spider-Man, and they don't give a fuck. And if maybe they could give them the time to be like, oh, you like Spider-Man? Well, this is sort of in the same universe. Come see this movie.
What about people who like vampires, though?
Yeah, you can market to the Twilight people, I guess.
There is that one trailer where you can see Spider-Man's picture in the alley.
Right. It's like, but it's real quick, and then you have Micheal Keaton.
Micheal Keaton, and then the Venom reference. I am Venom. So I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Morbius.
If they do shoehorn a Spider-Man in there, who should it be? Should it be Toby? Should it be Andrew? Maybe Toby gets shoehorned in. Or maybe
I don't see him doing it.
No?
Yeah.
I don't think that Tobey Maguire is doing anything right now. He's just like fucking doesn't give a shit anymore.
I don't think I think Sony would love to do it, but I don't think Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire are offering their services without a huge sum of money to be in a Morbius movie right now.
No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
Like if you're Tobey Maguire, do you want to start doing Spider-Man again?
I don't know what that guy wants to do.
I don't think
does he even want to act?
Yeah, I think
I really don't give a shit.
I don't.
Yeah,
he hasn't done anything. He hasn't been doing anything, but he made
Andrew Garfield likes to act, but Tobey Maguire really hasn't done anything.
Like lately. Tobey Maguire was in the Pussy Posse. Well, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh, that was who was who did that consist of? That
Wait, what are you talking about?
You don't know about this?
It was like Hollywood's Avengers.
It was it was the Hollywood.
What are we talking about here?
Look it up. It's
I don't know if I should Google that.
I'm going to Google it at my own behest.
Oh my God, I'm scared.
All right, okay, let's see.
Okay, so this article is a look back.
There is okay. Before we had Entourage, we had the Pussy Posse. That was Tobey Maguire, Lucas Haas, David Blaine, Jay Ferguson, Ethan Suplee, Kevin Connolly, Scott Bloom, and of course Leonardo DiCaprio.
I got a list with Harmony Korine also in there.
What were these men doing? These guys were just out getting tail? Is that
These
what
were
it
like,
is?
this was like the Entourage. Like, you know that show Entourage?
Yeah.
It was based off Leonardo DiCaprio and this squad that was just tearing through Hollywood, like getting drunk and fucking dating chicks and partying with models every night.
Oh, look at these women
just
they
look it
were
up.
involved with.
Just look it up. I'll give you. I'm gonna put in. I'm gonna put the article.
Women affiliated: Elizabeth Berkley,
Yep, I'm looking
Fiona
at the
Apple,
same article, I
Sarah
believe.
Gilbert, Amber Benson.
Here,
We're all looking at the same one.
But
Paper Mag. You're looking at that.
Yep.
Okay.
The Pussy Posse. I didn't know that the Entourage was based on these guys called the Pussy. I knew it was based on a real thing. I didn't know these guys
I
were
just
called the
love
Pussy
that.
Posse.
I don't. Do you think that they came up with that name, or is that something that like the newspaper came up with and thought it was cute, and they now labeled them as? There was a movie that was that's supposed to come out that was black and white that one of Leonardo DiCaprio's friends was making
about the Pussy Posse.
Well, loosely, it was loosely based off of their lives, and they were acting as other people, but. Like they were going to release it, and Leonardo was like, "Do not release that movie."
Shit.
And
I have to see this now.
They tried to cancel. They tried to cancel him like years later because of this movie that they were supposed to come out. Anyhow, so basically, like it ruined the friendship because the guy that shot the movie was one of Leonardo DiCaprio's good friends, and like did it to start his career, like, but never let him release the movie. So
wow.
Yeah, we're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
This is the late 90s Hollywood big shots here.
What a tangent.
Oh, my God. Anyways,
I'm sorry, I ruined
Morbius on April 1st. April Fools. Maybe there's not
like
even
Morbius.
maybe there's not even a movie.
Someone interesting that we're talking about Leonardo DiCaprio.
Fucking moving
I feel
on.
like Jared Leto might be in a Pussy Posse.
You know, he just turned 50.
But he's in a different kind. He's the kind that you beat up.
He's 50. He's 50, dude.
Jared Leto?
Yeah, he just turned fucking 50.
He's 50?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He looks good for his age.
He looks good. It makes me feel old, though.
He's 50.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Somehow that kid from...
and they cast him as like a franchise hero or whatever they're
at 50. No, he looks good for 50.
Well, but Robert Downey was like 53 or something.
That's true.
He was in his 40s when they did the first Iron Man, but yeah, by the end he was
But Iron Man was like kind of that age anyways, you know?
Yeah.
So
Morbius. Wow, 50.
Yeah.
Good for Jared Leto. Is he
good.
still sending out used condoms to people and
Yeah,
shit?
he uses very good moisturizer. That's how he looks. Oh, smooth. Whatever's in the condom, it makes your skin smooth.
I think he's an actual vampire.
I think that may be true. Okay,
That
speaking
really blows my mind.
speaking
Both
of
of these things.
vampires, let's
The
get
Pussy
to
Posse and Jared Leto's age.
right. We're just blowing everybody's mind. Nobody gives a shit about Morbius. Great.
No.
But speaking of vampires and bats, let's talk about this new The Batman trailer from Matt Reeves. This movie is coming out in March. This one's called The Bat and the Cat, and gives you a lot of interesting visuals there. What did we think? Anthony, what did you think of this? Did you get any more geek boner?
Geek boner?
Floppy
jock.
I think it looks very good. I like everything about it. I like the tone. I like the cast. I like how it looks. I like that Reeves is directing it. The only thing that makes, and Batman's my favorite superhero,
Yeah.
so there's all those going for it. The only thing that like gives me just a little pause is just we've had so many variations of Batman throughout the years that it's tough for me to get like super excited about another Batman solo flick with a different actor. But that being said, this is like checking all the boxes to get me to a point where I could be excited.
Right.
I agree.
See, I think that we've never gotten this is really weird because this happens a lot. Like, you never get the quintessential Batman film, or like, for example, you got Tim Burton with all of this style, right? But it was kind of like this other kind of Batman. It had decent fight sequences, but it wasn't like an all-out action film. It was more like an art piece, right?
Yeah.
Then you switch into like this cartoony Batman. Then you get into like the Batman Begins, where like, yeah, everything's almost perfect, but the fight sequences are like lackluster and up close. You can't really. Then all of a sudden, Snyder kills the best Batman fucking hand-to-hand combat of all time.
Right, in one scene.
Yeah. But you can't make a fucking Batman movie.
No, everything else is crap.
So we've never gotten like everything in one shot. We've always got everything piecemeal. And I feel like hopefully Reeves can pull it off. Like the hand-to-hand combat, shot well, action, shot well, like a balls to the wall action scenes, but also like still serious and the right tone. It's crazy because I feel like this is it feels a lot like the Nolanverse. It feels very much like adjacent. It's just like a more explosive and darker, like David Fincher version of that.
Dirtier, yeah, gritty. Yep. It's very sepia and brown and dark.
But yeah,
there is a lot of like Batman Begins vibes that I get from it.
Could this be what sounds like what you're saying is this could be possibly the best Batman movie that gives you a complete picture of Batman?
I think complete sounds like a better
Batman movie.
I don't know if it's going to hit the highs that Nolan has hit, that hits with his themes and everything. Or
well, you see, and you also see a lot of mystery work. You see detective work, so it's like there's a mystery going on.
I don't know if there's a chance that the action sequences are going to touch Batman versus Superman's
scene,
Siege.
I mean, some of these shots and this beating he's giving these people looks fucking dope. The cinematography is beautiful. Like the shots are framed perfectly. There's a lot of people. Like one person right in the middle of a shot surrounded by either like a circle in the background. A lot of
there's some beautiful shots as you say, where like the one where he like falls through the glass and the glass is shattering and he lands on the catwalk.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the smoke all around and he's beating everyone up with a club.
Yeah.
Like some of these are great trailer shots.
Oh,
like
Reeves is a good director. So as we've talked about in the Godzilla chat, that only like 6 people that ever listen to the show even know about. Reeves made me a believer in Planet of the Apes series, which I was like, that series was dead in the water. Yeah. He resurrected that. So, I mean, everything is there. I like that this seems like to also be to be focusing on the detective aspect, as you mentioned, Imran, the mystery aspect. Definitely could be a complete movie. I just don't see anything. The only thing I see wrong with it is just that there's just so much Batman in the past that, like, how do you distinguish this Batman from everything else?
At first, I thought this trailer gave away too much. I was like, oh man, they're showing a lot. But no, now watching it a few more times, it gave me even bigger geek boner tease. Like, the one scene and he's at somebody's funeral and the car drives in and the guy's there and it's a bomb. It's going to go off. Like, you kind of see that playing out. But I think there's a lot more. I love seeing him and Selena, the relationship, how she's kind of joking with him, and he's like, you got a lot of cats. And we learned Riddler seems to know Bruce is Batman. They're kind of alluding to that. Alfred's been keeping a secret. You got your sins of the father. The Waynes probably were not the big philanthropists that everybody thought they were. So that's a lot of good shit. March 4th, 2022 in the theaters, and then it will come out on HBO Max 45 days later, April 19th.
The one thing I'm curious about, I'm really curious to see how the overall movie-going audience responds to this. Like, are they excited for this? Because it looks pretty fucking good. I'm watching it again right now. I'm like, this looks really fucking good.
And it's PG-13, which was bothered me for a second, but I think you can make a fucking gritty PG-13 movie.
They've Dark Knight's a PG-13.
That's true.
What I'm getting at is, like, at what point do viewers get tired of seeing different variations of Batman?
Yeah. I mean, everybody already is going like, another Batman. What's this, another Batman? That's all I hear from like the general people out there.
It looks awesome.
It looks fucking great.
You could say that about James Bond, and there's been 30,000 movies. So it's like,
it's true.
It's just something that
put out that other one.
I feel like Batman has become an institution as far as vigilante heroes, anti-heroes. It fulfills a need. It depends on how long the culture will sustain a hero like Batman. If at some point, we decide to do away with him in favor of something more, altruistic or not as psychotic or whatever. But I think that people crave it. I think there's always going to be an audience that wants a Batman.
To Batman. Yeah.
Here's the only thing, though. Daniel Craig was the latest James Bond.
Yeah.
He's been James Bond as long as there's been 3 to 4 Batmans.
Right. Yes.
So he's been James Bond from 2006 to 21. In that time period, we had Bale, Affleck. We're getting Keaton back, and we're now having
more Batmans.
What's the fucking guy's name that's doing it? Twilight
Pattinson.
Pattinson,
Robert
yeah.
Pattinson. No, that's a good point. They're not switching out the Bonds as quickly as we switch out the Batman.
I mean, there is a lot of changeover.
Here's the other thing that bugs me, and
Love Batman though.
I think this movie looks fucking dope, and hopefully it doesn't get pushed back like this Morbius did. The one thing that bugs me is the music sounds great. There's a new score.
It's 2 notes.
It's 2 notes, and it sounds very close to another piece of cinematic music. Here, I have some audio evidence. Here's the last few seconds of this trailer. You're going to hear the main theme. Okay, now here is the Imperial March, Darth Vader's theme from Star Wars. Pay attention.
It's got a similar cadence.
It's 2 notes away. They just dropped like 2 notes from that melody, and it's the fucking Batman song.
It's 2 notes versus 5 notes.
Versus, it's like
I don't see it.
You don't see it. What the
I
fuck?
understand. No, I do
It's
think
right
that there is an influence there. I do think there's in the cadence and like the droning of it.
The minute I heard it from the first trailer, I was like, "That's the fucking Imperial Death March."
I mean, I see the distant cousin, but I wouldn't ever.
This is like Vanilla Ice going, well, that song goes dun 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 dun. My song goes dun 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 dun. That's pretty much what's going on here. Aside from stealing music, I can't wait.
If you want to say that, Imran, I'm just saying that Batman theme is literally just 2 notes.
Yes, it's dun dun.
Like
dun,
I can
dun dun dun, but then you just gotta add dun dun dun, and it's the fucking Star Wars thing.
What you need though. Hopefully they have. I mean, I don't mind that theme.
Yeah, you need like.
But you're gonna need a really good. You're gonna need a really good score for a Batman.
You need like
Batman
a Danny Elfman memorable, catchy fucking music, or bring that music back. You could still use it.
In Dark Knight, you had Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer. I still think Elfman's music is the best because I can't hum the Hans Zimmer one. I could do the Elfman one.
Yeah,
right
like
now.
the Superman theme and the Batman theme. They're melodic. Like they have a melody. They have a whole thing. You can kind of just sing it.
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
Star Wars again, John Williams, and Indiana Jones, John Williams, and then Danny Elfman has.
They sound a lot like those three.
They do. Superman and the Star, but I'll give that one leeway because it's the same fucking guy composing the music. But yeah,
I don't know, man. The theme that Hans Zimmer gives to Nolan is pretty epic.
I might have to go back and listen to it.
Dun, 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 dun,
okay, I kind of remember it.
Dun, dun,
Wait, wasn't that the music from Tenet? That's from Tenet. What are you talking about?
No, that's at that point. Yeah, he was reusing this stuff.
Well, listener, let us know what you think. Is the music the same? Where do you land? Join the conversation. Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's closed group exclusive just for you listeners and us. We're all in there. We post fun things, spoiler threads for movies and TV shows. If you want to geek out, join us there. Let us know. That's
Spread it.
Spread your asshole. I mean, the geekery.
I stick it up my asshole.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
That was not Balky. I don't think Balky ever said that.
No.
Let's stick with the Batman theme. Reports coming out saying Micheal Keaton will be playing Batman in another movie, not just Flashpoint, in the Batgirl movie that's being made for HBO Max, where Batgirl is being played by Leslie Grace. What's going on here? Is this their version of like a Batman Beyond? Is he going to be mentoring the new Batgirl? What do you think? I mean, I love some Micheal Keaton Batman. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, shouldn't you be like over the moon about this stuff that Micheal Keaton's basically back as Batman forever?
Yeah,
now?
It's as big as like Toby.
No pun intended.
Toby and Andrew, to me, this is as big as fucking Micheal Keaton's return.
Let me ask you this.
He's 71 years old, by the way, Micheal Keaton.
Whoa. He's 10 years older than Ralph Macchio. Anyway.
At least he's in better shape than the guy that was playing Robin in the cameo on the CW.
Yeah, no,
shows.
Keaton can still kick ass at his age. Absolutely.
He was just in a movie called The
Protege.
The Protege,
where he's kicking ass. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was I going to fucking say? God damn it.
Imran, you fucked him.
No,
Micheal Keaton back as Batman and Batgirl.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you. In the lore, is Batgirl first, then Robin, or Robin first, then Batgirl?
Oh man,
I believe Robin. It might have been
think
at the same
Robin's
time,
first.
and it was all
No.
Bill Finger came up with all these characters, not Bob.
I think it was Robin.
I think Robin was first, and then Batgirl.
Okay.
I think it was Robin. I think then Batgirl and Batwoman didn't. Batgirl beat Batwoman. I believe. Right?
Yes, because it was Barbara Gordon.
I think that no, Batgirl came along later, but like
Batgirl 1961. first
Batwoman
appearance.
came out along later. I'm sorry,
Later,
but
yeah.
I think the way the animated series did it was Batgirl was first, then Robin.
Oh.
I think.
Let's see. Well, Robin was. I mean, we know Batgirl's 1961.
Robin first appearance 1940. Detective Comics 38. So yeah, Robin 20 years predates the Batgirl.
All right. Interesting.
You know what? I'm willing to give it a shot. I think it depends how Keaton comes off in Flashpoint.
Yeah.
I think on the surface, just having come off of Spider-Man No Way Home. Granted, last week I just called for Andrew Garfield to come back, so I'm going to completely contradict myself. But I think you lose a little bit of the nostalgia when you keep bringing back the same guys in the movies. I don't know what they're going for, though. So maybe he is just like the Overlord Batman Beyond, and maybe that's the way they're going with it. And if that's the case, then maybe this will work.
I think that if you're going to use an elder Batman in your story, you got to use Keaton, though.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like if you're doing this like Batman Beyond type shit, or
because Adam
elder
West
Batman,
is dead, so you can't use him.
Yeah.
Well, the only drawback to that is, as you mentioned in your Batman summaries, those movies are so tonally different than anything that's ever come out from DC since.
Yeah.
That he existed in a different world.
Well, it's the multiverse. Yeah.
It was so gothic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was Prince music
but the
everywhere
multiverse.
and purple. People wearing purple. It was I wanted to live in that
You
world.
had a 78-year-old Joker. It was crazy.
It was a
Really old fat
completely
Joker.
different universe. It's a so
I mean, you had Jack Palance giving really strange delivery of lines.
Keaton's a great actor. This actress has only been in like one other thing. So
yeah, In the Heights.
Yeah. She's good looking though.
She is. She's very attractive. This is also the movie J.K. Simmons.
That gives her value.
Well, sure it does. Oh shit! That was Anthony who said that.
No, that's not. I'm quoting Spider-Man.
Oh, that's right, and that gives me value.
Yeah, she's like, you look pretty. She's like, and that gives me value.
Just fucking with you.
Just kidding.
J.K. Simmons is going to return to be Jim Gordon, so we have the J.K. Simmons from that other universe. Remember, Brendan Fraser is playing Firefly, apparently.
Isn't it? It's just funny that they're both doing the multiverse stuff at the same time.
Again, DC does it first, Batman does it better. I mean, Marvel does it better. Batman. Except this time,
Batman does it better.
Marvel beat them to the punch with the fucking multiverse, and now it's just going to have to get compared to Spider-Man No Way Home. That's all that's going to happen.
It's funny because what happened was Marvel came up with a shared universe. Then DC tried to do a shared universe. They blew it. So then they were going to pivot and do multiverse. Then Marvel's like, no, we're going to do the multiverse.
Well, that is a perfect segue, Ruggs, to this next story. And this is one Anthony shared with me. Anthony, you want to introduce the story? Because we're kind of seeing the where DC is going to fix their shit, right?
Yeah, I'll introduce it. I brought it up last night. We never really even cite TMZ, but this came from TMZ.
It was in other places too, though.
Yeah, it's been all over.
Yeah.
Okay, so the upcoming Flash movie, which is dealing with multiverse, plans to kind of reshape the universe to get rid of anything Snyder and make like a new Justice League. And in that Justice League, instead of Ben Affleck, Batman, and Henry Cavill, Superman, it's going to be led by Superwoman, Supergirl, and Batgirl, which we're establishing in this Batgirl film that we just talked about. So,
as well as the Flash, possibly Wonder Woman, Shazam, maybe.
So they're replacing everybody but Gal Gadot.
That's what it seems like. Yeah.
Well, no, but you still have
not replacing, just like making like that's not
swapping out.
Moving forward, this is who the people that are leading.
Well, how come she stays intact? That's the only thing.
You still got Momoa as
She
Aquaman.
makes money.
Yeah,
she made them money.
Look, I don't have a problem with this in the least. I feel like I think I've been saying that's what we thought was going to happen all along. Anyway, like they needed to do a flashpoint to
reset everything,
to make it seem like everything was still viable because there's a multiverse.
I could see how like the Zack Snyder fans take this as like an offense, like an attack.
Well, they definitely need to, if they're still concerned about like creating some sort of shared universe, which they were super concerned about, and then they were like, well, no, we're just going to make the movies, just make these individual movies good. And now it seems like they're back to like, well, eventually we want to make a multiverse thing. Not a multiverse thing, but we want to lean back into the shared universe. It is super confusing with 2 Justice League movies out.
Yeah.
So this movie has kind of a task in terms of like resetting everything. And I'm not like over the moon about getting rid of either. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I like Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm not super into like getting rid of those characters, but as I said with Batgirl, I'm willing to give it a shot if it's a Supergirl and the Batgirl leading the way. All right, let's see it.
Yeah.
We've seen very many itinerations of the male versions
That's
leading
true.
the way. So
That's true. I feel bad for Henry Cavill though. He should have got like a proper Superman movie.
Right.
And Ben, I mean, I thought
he did get one Superman.
He got
movie.
one, but like another one to redeem that one a little bit, maybe. I don't know. Affleck, I thought shot stuff for Flashpoint, and
he did,
and he may be in it, and maybe
he's passing the baton.
Yeah, and maybe Cavill has a little cameo in that too. But we said that to move ahead past the Zack Snyder universe, you're going to have to use this movie to reset.
We've been saying this since when this was mentioned. This movie was mentioned. We're like, okay, how are they going to kind of like continue going forward, but like not completely like acting like that didn't exist? They could always call upon it if it's a part of a multiverse that Flash makes in Flashpoints, like that he can reset things and this and that. Like they don't just go away; they exist on a different timeline.
Well,
maybe
I think
something.
part of this weird is like how these articles have the headline of erase the Snyderverse.
I think it's clickbait. I think it's clickbait. People, it's like people who don't know comics enough.
They're trying to stir up some shit.
Or don't know how this thing could work. Like they're not really like.
I mean, the quote is, "It will erase every movie Zack Snyder has done." It's clearly put out there to get a response. Yes,
that's conjecture.
Because, like you said, they may not be erased; they'll be available. They're just shifting past.
Look at what happened with the Spider-Verse. Like you're like, okay, you introduce a vehicle where you can introduce things from different timelines, and all of a sudden you have access to it. Like you can't just erase something.
No,
like, it's unerasable.
It is just like a Sharpie. It's staying there forever. You know who else is in this Flashpoint movie? So you have Tamara Morrison. Speaking of Boba Fett, is going to be in this. So Ben,
is he redoing? He's
still Tom Curry, Arthur Curry's dad.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I thought for whatever reason I forgot he was Tom Curry.
Yeah,
and I thought they were having him back as
as Boba Fett. No, not as Boba Fett.
As the purple guy in Green Lantern.
Oh,
that's what
as
he was
Abin Sur. He was Abin Sur, wasn't he?
He was.
Oh shit! Tamara Morrison's been everywhere. So the IMDb lists Ben Affleck as Batman, Micheal Keaton Batman, Michael Shannon. It doesn't say Zod, but he's fucking Zod.
He's got to be Zod,
also
right?
Returning in Flashpoint. Maybe Gal Gadot, but you have Ezra Miller, Ron Livingston playing Henry Allen, Kiersey Clemons as Iris West, Sasha Calais as Supergirl.
I think they're going to have a lot of fun with the movie and do a lot of like different cameos.
Hopefully this would be this is when you can have a lot of fun and make something similar to like No Way Home and get people fucking cheering. Like, would they be able to pull off a thing where people are going to fucking sit up and go, holy shit? Like when Michael Keaton comes in, I better be fucking cheering and standing up. It better be a moment like that, because that's just like Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire coming in that.
I think this movie can serve a real purpose in terms of getting not only like course correcting the universe, but also getting people really excited about not just individual DC films, but actually getting excited about potentially seeing crossover films again in the DC universe.
But I think it's also good that they stick to this like director driven plan that's kind of been working for them.
But there's not like, it is like kind of working in that there's been good movies, right? But when I'm listening to other podcasts and stuff, no one's talking about the DC universe at large and like all the ramifications of what it can mean. Yeah. Like with what Marvel's done, like people talk about things and they're like, oh, where does this fit in? Where does that fit in? And it just creates more conversation. So I think eventually DC needs to lean back into their shared universe because it's rich and there's a lot to mine there.
But that's the struggle. Is like they got to do it their own way. They can't do it exactly the same way. They can't figure out how to do it.
I just have a feeling that being a person who's been observing the DC universe for like decades, that they just by proxy or just as a process, they scrap shit all the time and start over again. Like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing there. Like, they have no idea how to maintain continuity to save their own lives. So, they're not able to do it in the fucking cinematic universe.
True.
Like, are we seriously thinking that they could pull this? Like, look, not to shit on DC like that much, but I mean, like, that's what happens. They have a universe, and then in 5 years or 3 years, like, fuck it, we're gonna start over again, rebirth. You know,
that's true. They are like the original They are the originators of like just resetting everything. I mean, they started even doing that in the '60s. They looked at all their old stuff and they were like, we're having a new Green Lantern, a new Flash, a new this. And then the '80s, they were like, yep, we're doing Crisis on Infinite Earths.
There's Crisis,
So they've been doing this. They're the originators of like resetting.
But they've done it so much that like it's a joke now.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, but they had an opportunity to not do that in their movies, but it seems like they're just going to fucking do the same
like
shit.
you should have. I think you should have 30 years of solid continuity and then reset every 30 years.
Okay. That's a good
cycle.
That's like a James Bond kind of, not 30 years.
DC's been doing that like every 3 years.
Yes.
Like
Maybe
30 years, you like the times change so much. But I think about like the 70s through the or like the 1965 through 1995. I think that like
that's huge changes in there. Yeah,
lots of huge changes. But I think those characters, like if you read 1965, if you were in 1990 and you read 1965, like Spider-Man, it still would be, you'd still be able to get it.
Yeah.
You know, you're familiar with those
it's
with that age.
Character, essentially. Yes.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
You just have a whole bunch of holographic covers.
Yes. You're like,
what the fuck am I supposed to do with these?
17 die.
How can I not see?
I mean, you still have Sal Buscema fucking drawing it, you know,
be
like
worth someday,
in 1995.
These could be worth a lot of money someday. I'm buying 12 of them.
Like you still have fucking Sal Buscema, who probably drew it in the 1970s, drawing it in the 1990s.
He's still drawing now, too. Like, how old is this motherfucker? The Buscema. Elder Buscema. Yeah. No, I have too many comic books from the 90s that have
like Neil
holograms.
Adams was drawing Batman in fucking
in the
1970, and he was drawing it in 1990.
Yeah.
It's like, so, like, you can have continuity about 30 years, I would say. Or even you want to take it to 25, fine, that's fine. But every 5 or every 3 years, DC's gone. I think they did 3 years was their shortest in continuity reset.
Yeah,
like remember when like Wonder Woman was wearing like black?
I think she was wearing pants, right?
And then she had pants and a choker.
Yeah,
yeah. And then all of a sudden they fucking reset it. Then they reset it again. Well, then they made her silver. It was just
Well, there was that whole time where she just had like a day job and she was like just being Diana, and she wouldn't even put on the Wonder Woman outfit for like many years.
It's just strange that DC just does this, and now they're doing it in their movies. Like
that's the thing. Why would you make this mistake again? What the fuck?
The fuck?
The New 52 lasted like 2 years, and they were like, "Okay, this doesn't work. Let's fucking start this over again." I'm like,
well, people were pissed.
I'm like, you just started. They were, yeah.
Why did they bail on that? Do you think? I mean, they weren't getting. They just weren't getting the numbers. So they're just like, this isn't
it's definitely probably the numbers, but there was also a lot of like backlash in terms of like
changes.
They erased all that history and they condensed everything to like 5 years of things. That
all right, so let's talk about this larger idea then. So they tried to do this New 52, this brave new thing that they were going to do this thing, and everybody clamored for it to go back to normal continuity.
Yeah.
So wouldn't that tell you not to do it?
No, it tells you the next
wouldn't
time.
Wouldn't it be a lesson? Like, do it even more.
Switch back to normal. Just if you.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were running into. They were running in the thing that like all comics run into when you have years and years of continuity is like an entry point for new viewers and. They overvalued the new people rather than the people they already had.
It's a tricky business. How do you keep your old readers happy and
I don't. Well, if I cared about comics enough to solve this problem, I would by basically taking those stories and reintroducing them to them like as stories in the back of books, like maybe condensed versions or annuals. Of okay, this is you can get a good editor to edit out a lot of fat and then get the condensed version of, let's say, Secret Wars. You have Secret Wars, how many volumes? It's just fucking a lot. You could probably condense it down to an annual 68 pages if you edit it properly.
Remember, Marvel did that really well in the 80s. They had a bunch of titles that were just reprinting like an X-Men. It would reprint the old Uncanny X-Men. So you're reading the new X-Men, and you could buy cheap these reprints of the backstory, and they did it, I think, with Spider-Man. Like, I thought that was a great idea. That's one way to do it also.
I think that one of the things is that when you're trying to reread a lot of this stuff, there's so many like ancillary issues, and you can't, it's a lot. So you could get a good editor to just kind of edit out all the extraneous bullshit and just maybe, okay, we need these 2 pages from this comic
Cliff Notes version.
And we'll make a nice fucking compendium that will give you the like abridged version. So you can pretty much hit all the notes and they're not really going to miss anything. But anyway, whatever.
Yeah. I haven't bought comics in a while.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
It's been a long time.
I've put enough money in.
Remember the New 52 is what made us start buying
we were
comics,
going every week. I was spending like $100 plus every week.
I know that was nuts.
And they pulled the rug right out from under you again.
It's not sustainable, people. It's really hard. But I also have put enough money, I'm looking at it right now, into it already. So it'll have to fucking make do. Let's talk about some Marvel stuff. You know, at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, the end credit scene was this Doctor Strange trailer. They put out the trailer official. Any thoughts, comments on this trailer? There's a lot of rumors about who's going to appear in this movie. I have a list of a bunch of them. I already mentioned that they said a lot of people from What If.
Is this different than the
characters?
The end credit trailer?
It's pretty much the same exact
We just
thing.
never talked about it on the show.
Comment, thoughts on this? Is that at the end the Sorcerer Supreme from What If, or is it another variant? Strange Supreme.
I think that's from the cartoon? Just it's a possible, version that's like the one in What If. I don't think it's the same exact version, but because What If is a possible version, right? So in this movie, something probably happens. Yeah. I don't know. What is he trying to solve? Is he trying to get his girlfriend back like in the other one? Is that what we're doing here, or what's happening?
Well, you see him. He's not getting married to Christine. Is her name?
No.
He's standing there. No, that's not her name.
No, I'm agreeing. He's not.
Yeah, he's standing there watching her get married to someone else. Anthony, what else anything else stuck out from this trailer?
I think it looks really good. I think it looked super intriguing. I think similar to the Flashpoint movie. They now that they're doing the multiverse stuff, they're probably going to have a lot of fun cameos in this one. A lot of different variations of characters. I like Doctor Strange. I like that Baron Mordo's back. I thought he was a really interesting character in the first Doctor Strange movie. I like where Wanda has kind of been at the end of WandaVision, so I like seeing her back.
She's in a different house somewhere. That was weird.
Yeah, a different house. America Chavez, I don't know anything about her, but I'm intrigued to see a little teenager in this movie with 50-year-old Benedict Cumberbatch. So overall, I think it looks good. I like that they're dealing with the ramifications of Strange's bad decisions. So
yeah, this is either where he like closes all the fucking open things that opened and like collapses the timeline back to one. It's got to be, or they're not just going to leave it open so that any fucking body can come through.
I feel like there's going to be full of surprises too, like Spider-Man. It's going to be full of surprises and cameos. I think that's going to happen.
One more thing too that makes me really pumped about it is the fact that Sam Raimi's doing it.
Yes.
I was going to say that too.
Hell yeah. So it's been a while since you've seen a good fucking Raimi movie with all of his fucking camera moves and his style.
Hopefully they let him let his influence and style show in this one.
I already liked the first Doctor Strange movie, and I think that he's going to elevate it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to actually be really awesome. So I'm kind of pumped.
On that note too, I think it's going to be a very important film for the cinematic universe in general that Marvel's built, like similar to like a Winter Soldier, where it kind of broke open things a little bit, or like a Thor Ragnarok, like where it just kind of like sets a precedent for like the tone for the rest of these movies. Like there's like I think I see a lot like this movie affecting all the other movies and there being ramifications from what comes out of it. So I think it's a bigger movie than just a Doctor Strange movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, so there's a couple of things that came out. There's a synopsis that came over from Japan, and they translated it.
What does it say?
So it says, the door of the multiverse full of mystery and madness opens. Now that Iron Man and Captain America have left after a fierce battle in Avengers Endgame, former genius surgeon and the strongest magician of them all, Doctor Strange is expected to play an active role as a central figure in the Avengers. However, using his magic to manipulate time and space at will with a forbidden spell that is considered the most dangerous, has opened the door to a mysterious madness called the multiverse. To restore a world where everything is changing, Strange seeks help from his ally Wong, the Sorcerer Supreme, and the Avengers' most powerful Scarlet Witch, Wanda. But a terrible threat looms over humanity and the entire universe that no longer can be done by their power alone. Even more surprising, the greatest threat in the universe looks exactly like Doctor Strange. So that's kind of interesting. And then here's a list of rumored, this may be spoilers,
Spoiler alert.
rumored cameos to appear. This list from Comic Book Resources says Loki and his TVA allies may appear. That kind of that might make sense if you have if the shit started there. Wiccan and Speed's return could be in this movie. Maybe she's like, I'll help you do this if you help me get my kids back, find my kids before we shut it down. Professor X may appear as a member of Strange's Illuminati.
Oh, shit.
So this was another rumor I heard that they're going to try to start the Illuminati, Anthony.
I love the Illuminati. I could see it at the end, but the only thing is like the logistics of casting a Professor X, and I know the next one you're going to say is Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I don't know if they have those guys cast.
No, but you would bring Patrick Stewart back, maybe.
He's so old.
Yeah, well, Xavier's old, maybe.
He's not that old.
Okay, Reed Richards, I don't know. Yeah, a Fantastic Four could make his debut, and then unnamed
Patrick Stewart's
Fox.
81.
Oh my God! I mean, he's still doing that show Picard, I think.
Is he? God bless him. I just don't want him to keel over and die while
I
he's
know.
got things going on.
If it's during the shooting of the movie, he's already sitting in a wheelchair.
Well, he's already
he's
already
sitting
in a
down, he'll
wheelchair.
be fine. He's not going to fall or anything. If that's what
Just
you
wheel him around.
Yeah, he's not going to hit his head. Unnamed Fox Marvel character. What If's Captain Carter.
Captain Carter, I think, is very possible.
Ultron or his sentries, if they're doing the Illuminati, may serve. Sleepwalker's debut was teased by Doctor Strange 2's merchandise. This is a really obscure character, Ruggs. You remember Sleepwalker, remember?
Yeah, he's like an alien with like a purple and blue costume.
Yeah, he's like Dream from a Sandman. He like goes through your dreams. I believe he tangled Spider-Man. And then this other one, I don't even know. Despair. Oh, Despair may bring a Shang-Chi connection. Anyways, here's the last one. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man may take another trip through the Maybe this is where you put Tobey.
Sam Raimi getting Tobey.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Sam Raimi directing Tobey as Spider-Man.
I forgot about that's got to be just like a conjecture.
Yeah, I think these are all guesses. But I do think there's going to be a lot of crazy cameos, and we may have
That's
more.
That's like some fansturbation right there.
Yes, podcasturbation. March. We gotta wait till March now. I think now that the fucking
May.
I think this is
they
the
got
next
pushed from March to May.
It's gonna be May.
Now that Morbius has moved, this is the next superhero movie. I believe.
Batman.
Oh fuck, Batman is in March, and then this is in May.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as movies,
March isn't that bad.
Theatrical
we got other
releases.
things. Yeah, we got other things coming before then. Listener, here's some things you should get: is a Jock and Nerd podcast T-shirt. Visit our TeePublic shop, jockandnerd.com/shop, and you can purchase a shirt with Rug Boy on it. Somebody bought a laptop cover, and I was like,
Whoa.
oh my God. Yeah,
Whoa.
whoever that was, thank you very much. You can get a laptop
Nice.
cover with our logo, old logo, new logo, Rug Boy's face, his logo.
Rug
some
Boy approved.
sayings. Yeah. Somebody else told me, I think it was Lenny Romero, and I saw him at C2E2. He said he bought a Spoiler Time shirt to give to a buddy of his that spoils movies all the time.
Oh, nice.
So here, that's what you do. If you got someone in your life, it's a big spoiler, you give them the shirt. Be like, you fucker, here, wear this at least next time you open your big fat mouth. Spoil something. So last thing, I just want to touch on the Spider-Man box office. It's still breaking huge records. It is now the 12th biggest film globally and the 10th biggest movie domestically. It is sitting at $613 just domestically.
$613. That would make it the worst movie ever.
Oh, wait. And 64 cents. $613 million. Over $600 million domestically. 1.37 billion worldwide.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit, there's no stopping this movie. More people going to see it over New Year's, and nothing can stop it. But Jesus fuck, So there was another article, Anthony, you sent, and I read this. This movie has the potential to make Sony $600 million in profit.
Yeah, they're rolling in it right now.
This could be
they're
like
so happy.
the most profitable Spider-Man fucking movie ever. It's fucking insane.
It's the most money Sony's ever made, and they're ever gonna make.
Yeah, it's the biggest Sony opening.
In general, yeah.
They got the second Spider-Man movie that cracks $1 billion. Now, having said all that, we know it's a big draw, and we know why. You know, a lot of it. There's a lot of reasons. Tom Holland, one of the reasons. Tom Holland's pay check may be going up in the future. His asking rate. This article from Variety says, after Spider-Man, Tom Holland could fill Hollywood's void of millennial leading men. They're saying his salary may climb up to the low 8 digits for his.
So at least 10 million.
So, but I think more than 10. I think he's making maybe 5 to 10 now. So I don't know. Didn't Downey make like 20 million a movie when he started?
20 or 30.
So it's
Will Smith was making like 30, and Tom wasn't like Tom Cruise making like $50 million a movie.
But here's my question: is the Tom Holland worth $20-30 million a movie right now where he is, or do we have to wait till Uncharted comes out to see if he can draw?
I think that when you start making the kind of money where you're making $20-30 million a picture, just you being in the movie will get people to show up.
Doesn't matter if you're good.
Like, it doesn't matter if the movie's good. You're gonna get asses in the seats. People want to see you no matter what you're in.
Do you think audiences will see?
No, I don't want to see Tom Holland in anything.
In Uncharted. No,
even Spider-Man.
But after Spider-Man, do you think people could be like, "Oh, Spider-Man's in Uncharted"? I'm gonna go. I wonder if it's gonna help them.
I don't think it's gonna do that well.
No,
I think it might be it might do okay. I don't think it's going to like do big money.
I think Uncharted's gonna tank. But I'd be surprised. If I'm willing to see if he proves me wrong, but I don't think Uncharted's going to do very well at all. I also don't think. I think there are stars in Hollywood, but I actually don't think the names mean as much these days.
Not
if
anymore.
you look at like Robert Downey Jr., like outside of the Iron Man roles, like I guess he's what fucking Sherlock Holmes, but those movies haven't done like the best.
I think they're making another one, but they have not done the best. And then he made like that shitty movie with the animals, like right after
Doolittle.
Right
that was
after.
bad.
Yeah, just made like a shit movie. I'm like, what are you doing, Robert Downey Jr.?
Just grabbing the cash.
It didn't help. That movie made no fucking money.
I think the viewing audience still right now, in terms of paying for movies, I think being a star is important, but I think right now it's still in the like big franchise. It's more studio than
it's the studio IP game still. Right. Because like I think it's interesting. This article mentions like the old crew. Like you have your Denzel Washingtons, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Will Smith. They're all in their 50s and 60s. DiCaprio is 47. Fucking, we just said Jared Leto is 50. So who is this next crew? Like you put Holland in with like Timothée Chalamet with the Michael B. Jordan.
Let me just list off the 10.
That's about it.
The 10. Now 2021's a weird year.
Yeah.
So we'll keep. But let me list off the top 10 movies. Spider-Man No Way Home,
okay.
Shang-Chi,
okay.
Venom, Black Widow, F9, Eternals, No Time to Die, A Quiet Place Part 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and at 10 is Free Guy. Out of all those 10, one is not a sequel or a IP.
One's original.
It's Free Guy, yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking Marvel movies in there also.
Well, but those are all, what I'm saying is, they're Marvel movies, but they're all like IP that's been established.
Yeah, they're all something else. Yeah.
So I'm looking at the highest paid actors right now.
Yeah, who is it?
All right, so the highest paid actor for a single film is a tie between Tom Cruise, Bruce Willis, and Will Smith.
Oh, Bruce Willis! I forgot about him. He was pulling some bank.
Okay,
How much is that?
They all got $100 million.
Holy shit! Wow!
All right, Robert Downey Jr. got $75 million.
Whoa!
For Iron Man 3, Endgame, and Infinity War
for each movie. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then you got Harrison Ford got $65 million for the fourth Indiana Jones that nobody watched.
Where are the women? There's no girls on this list.
Sandra Bullock got. I think she got. We're talking about back end also.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I'm saying these numbers, this is back end numbers.
Okay,
too.
okay.
Sales. And
So
all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sandra Bullock got paid $20 million, but got $70 million from Gravity.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's a good deal.
Jack Nicholson got $60 million from a payout from Batman, but he got paid $6 million up front.
Wow, he only took 6 up front, but that movie is still paying.
But he
him.
got back end.
Yeah, he's still
so the
making
back
money
end.
from that movie.
I mean, $6 million in the 80s.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Mel Gibson up front got $30 million.
What, for making Passion of the Christ?
Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lethal Weapon.
And Schwarzenegger for Terminator Rise of the Machines got about $30 million.
Whoa.
Whoa.
So
Yeah, so we're
yes.
I mean, so if that's the case and Holland's moving up to that echelon,
Yeah.
he's got to be getting at least 20 to 30 million.
Yeah.
Now, actresses, well, they only have the annual earnings. So I don't know how
you don't know
how we figured out, but Scarlett Johansson's up there with $40 million in 1 year. So she probably take that between 3 or 4 movies. That's probably $10 million a film.
Plus, she got that Black Widow settlement. That's big money.
Yeah, that's a big
They cut her
payday.
a check.
Keanu's in there, but he gets $30 million a film.
All right,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Wow.
That's fucking
Should have
good.
been actors, Imran.
Jesus, fuck. Oh my God. Well, I just feel like Holland
He
has.
definitely got a face for acting.
I
Imran.
don't think Holland has. Do you think I feel like he needs to pay his dues a little bit longer. Maybe he's earned it. I don't know. He's just. I don't.
I think
Yeah.
guys I think a lot of those guys made it big when they were younger, and
I think it took longer back then, and it just happens quicker because, like, he's a good actor, but like, I don't know. Can you look at any one film where he wasn't Spider-Man, where he's like,
I haven't
he was
seen
amazing in
anything
it?
other than that one. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Cherry. which
I
he
heard
was
that
in.
wasn't that good.
No.
I heard all these movies were not that good. Chaos Walking he put out last year too. We'll see. So, anyways, that's where the big bucks are, kids. Get acting lessons.
Get into acting school.
Become the next Spider-Man.
Drop
Make-
out of
The
high school
important-
now.
I think the important thing to see from that whole article is that get some back end money,
Yeah.
because what you get paid up front is like maybe a third of what you can get back end, or quarter of what you can get.
No, the points on the back end is take a cut up front and get the back end shit is that's a good deal. All right, look, we're gonna take a break here. We'll play some promos. We'll come back and we'll check in and see what old fat Boba is doing on the Disney Plus right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Dig on America.
Your organization's terrible.
Hey guys, this is Jason Dutch with Dig on America podcast, and I'm here with.
Big Hops.
Do you have to say your name so weird?
How you want me to say?
And I'm also here with
Mikey Famine.
the excuser.
Good over. No, it's staying.
No, it's staying the way it is because this is the way the show is. Dig on America here, we explore how American history, policies, and sometimes even our pop culture created the social and political issues facing Americans today. A little bit about us.
I'm your resident brother of the league. I love America so much that I demand she be better through constant criticism and protest. Thank you.
And in your Obama voice, Mikey, I don't like Obama.
Of course you don't. You also don't like bathing and healthy meals. What Dig on America is it's a healthy criticism of a country.
America's already perfect. You should know we're perfect just like my hands.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might say that, but those people probably haven't gone to school or brushed their teeth today. So, we're going to ignore them. But yeah, check out our show. It's unbeholden to any corporate overlords, except for Jay-Z, the Bilderberg Foundation.
George Soros sponsors.
George Soros, the Clinton Foundation.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget Emotep.
You can check out our website, digonamerica.com. You can check out all of our audio. We're on every single fucking audio podcast app there is out there, Pandora, Spotify, etc. Subscribe on YouTube. You can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/DOA podcast. Hopefully you'll listen to the show, guys.
I won't.
Go fuck yourself.
Dig on America.
Listener, if you enjoy the show, we have a pretty cool fan club you can join to support the show and to show your love. Anthony?
Show your love.
There we go. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. I come to expect that now. You
Show
can't,
your love.
you have to do it every time.
Who says? I don't even know who
I
I'm
don't
quoting
know.
when I do that.
Is that a wrestler? I don't know where you got that from.
No, I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Anyways, if you go to jockandnerd.com/Patreon and sign up, you will get cool stuff. You get access to a bonus podcast feed where the shows come out early. There's instant reactions, post-show bonus content, lots of fun things. There's also a monthly Discord hangout we do just for our Patreon supporters.
Discord benefits.
Discord, Datcord, what are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
Discords. What is the Discord, Ruggs? Explain the experience.
Well, you just kind of go on, and then you could see people on, like you see Imran on video. He's talking to you like via like a video chat, basically, and you're all hanging out. It's basically like a big Zoom meeting.
Yeah, it's like a little personal show for you.
Yeah.
You get drunk.
And you get to see it. You get to see Imran. You get to see Anthony.
We get to hear from you.
Anthony, you get to hear me. Yeah.
Yes.
You don't see me. You hear me.
No, I'm saying we get to hear from the listener, which is my favorite part, and get to know some of our supporting listeners. This month, it is Thursday, January 20th, 2022, 8 p.m. Central. Put that in your calendars, everybody. Tell Siri to set a reminder for the Discord, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get to our review this week.
Let's get to the news, you bastards.
No, we already did that. You weren't paying attention, were you?
Fuck.
Sorry, I was texting. What did you say? Book of Boba Fett has started on Disney Plus. Chapter 1, first episode titled Chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land. Here is your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This episode, written by Jon Favreau himself. I believe he's written all of these. And the first couple episodes directed by Robert Rodriguez. Great action director from the 90s. And even right at the top of the bat, that title, Stranger in a Strange Land, that is a big reference. It is also the title of a huge 1961 science fiction novel by Robert A. Heinlein. Ruggs, have you ever read this?
No.
Have you read this, Anthony?
Who?
Stranger in a Strange Land. I meant to read it. I've heard about this book for years. I heard it's really good. It's about this dude, Valentine Michael Smith. He is a human who was born on Mars, raised by Martians, and he comes back to Earth as an adult to try to assimilate back in.
The last book I read was The Giver.
Oh, The Giver. Was that on Oprah's book club? What was that?
You don't know about The Giver?
No.
It's a great
It's about
idea.
blowjobs? No.
Oh my God.
You don't know about
You really don't know about The Giver.
No, I don't. What's The Giver about?
That's not something you read in school?
No.
No, that was way after.
That was
me.
before my time. We were reading fucking
Never mind.
other shit. But Stranger in a Strange Land, in that book, it's also a quote from the King James Bible by, I believe, Moses, who finds himself banished in the desert alone, kind of like the character in this episode. Anthony, you're our casual Star Wars
Very
fan.
casual.
You are Star Wars aware. That's what we'll call you.
Yeah.
You have Star Wars awareness. I'm like a big Star Wars fan, which is why I love it when you give plots for these things and try to figure out what everything is.
Sure.
What happens in Chapter 1, Stranger in a Strange Land?
Boba Fett is taking over, I guess, the crime lord kingdom that Jabba the Hutt has, and he's trying to figure out how to rule. But in the midst of that, he's also having flashbacks, dreams when he tries to heal to his escape from the Sarlacc pits.
There you go.
And his little journey in the desert with those people that speak in weird tones.
The Tusken Raiders.
Sure, the Tusken Raiders. So he's it's a dual story of him with the Tusken Raiders and kind of earning their respect or earning whatever he needs to earn from them as a prisoner, and then also the duality of him now being a leader and having to earn the respect of all the people that are underneath him. And there's people that respect him, and then there's people that are trying to knock him off his perch. So that's the first episode.
There you go. Back on Tatooine.
Where they're at?
They're on Tatooine.
I have a tattooed wing.
I got a tattooed wing. Ruggs, let's start with you. This episode ran 36 minutes. Not long at all. Geek Boner.
Floppy Jock.
Floppy Jock. What did you think first episode?
What did I think of the first episode of Boba Fett? I don't know. I it's a mixed bag because it does give you the origin of Boba Fett. They even did that callback to the Patton Oswalt thing about.
Oh, I have that
Boba
clip.
Fett.
Yes, we'll play that later.
Popping out of the sand, and so they kind of give you that origin story. I don't know why they did the Dances with Wolves with the Tusken Raiders, where he has to prove himself to the indigenous people.
Isn't he Boba Fett, the fucking baddest bounty hunter in the galaxy?
Yeah, I just didn't expect him to be so whatever. But
it's a different Boba Fett.
I don't know. I feel like he should have been more of a badass, just kind of like anti-hero, questionable dude. But you end up liking him. Like he's supposed to be like a bounty hunter that's a badass that fucking kills people.
But he's kind of like your fun uncle here, who's all cuddly and you want to hug him.
Like I thought that you'd have the Mandalorian, which is kind of this guy who's kind of trying to come to terms with being Mandalorian,
right?
And then you got Boba Fett, who's like this guy who comes from a Mandalorian blood, but is just so much more than just a Mandalorian. He's like a force to be reckoned with. Meaning Darth Vader fucking hired him to do dirty work for him. We're getting this chance to kind of see what he's about, and we got the sidetracked. I don't know why we had this Dances with Wolves thing. I don't think it added anything to the story. Maybe it'll come into play later when he calls on the Tusken Raiders to be his backup or something.
Oh yeah,
so maybe they're establishing that. But yeah, I think that the show is fine as far as context and world building and character building. I don't know if I feel like they got the character right yet, but it's all there. And there is some cool effects. There's cool CG monsters in this. I think the weakest thing is that Tamara Morrison's 61 years old, and they're doing this thing where his helmet's off all the time. So the Mandalorian always has his helmet on.
Yeah.
And Boba Fett always has his helmet off. And then that makes for lackluster fight scenes.
A little bit.
And action sequences.
A little bit.
And when you have Robert Rodriguez, who's supposedly a great action director, make one of the most disappointing, clunky scenes that I've ever seen, where it borders on laughable.
Yeah.
Which scene was that?
When the guys with the red shields attack him in
the big fight in the middle when the fucking
it looked like so
Star
much
Wars ninjas show up or something.
It looked like bad. It just didn't leave. I mean, I've seen Power Ranger fights that were more impactful.
Those dudes look like extras from the Mortal Kombat movie. What's going on?
Yeah.
Anthony, what'd you get out of this?
It's a little slow. I'm giving it a shot just because I have to, but also because it's kind of the same group that did The Mandalorian, which I had no interest in. And then by the end, I wasn't a full-on Star Wars fan, but I was definitely oh man, that emotionally resonated with me by the end of that second season.
Yeah.
Even the end of the first season.
Yeah.
So I think, I believe in the crew and I believe in them making me enjoy characters that I don't give a shit about. That being said, I think it still looks pretty good in terms of overall CGI mixed with practicals. That iguana thing looked great. The 6-arm monster that came out of the ground, the centaur looking thing, looked really good. In terms of and even their CGI of the backgrounds, they do a much better job than Marvel, which is strange because they're both owned by Disney, in terms of making the backgrounds and everything kind of flow together and look like it's actually there.
Well, they're using the volume, that wraparound screen, which is amazing.
It does look good. It is a little slow, as I mentioned. I'm with Ruggs. I just can't get over the fact that this guy is short and has a pot belly.
Okay, yeah.
It really bugs me that he's even when he puts on the damn suit, he has that pot belly. I know he can't. He's 61 years old, and it's Tamara Morrison, and
I think it's poor costuming, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because I feel all right, yeah. Let's say he is a little bit he's in his 60s, so he's shorter than he probably was when he was 30, and he's more compact and whatever. You can dress someone to look padding or whatever. Get the shoulders to be wider. Have less bulk in the midsection. They're giving them this kind of baggy pants and stuff. And all it does is make them wider. So you have to get a more Try and make a better silhouette.
Tapered look.
Yeah, get a better silhouette with that uniform, and then you're good.
Well, one more thing about him, about his size, is it'd be one thing too if they like somewhat acknowledge like, hey, he's kind of past his prime, and like he's like maybe they like made a joke like he's like not like Fat Thor, but like something where it's like he's past his prime, but he's still kind of a badass, but he's not moving as quickly as he used to, kind of thing.
Like he's washed up a little.
But they're still playing it off like
he's badass.
I'm
Boba.
supposed to like assume he's a badass guy.
Yeah.
And furthermore, that Sarlacc pit thing, like I'm trying to figure out. So he got thrown in the Sarlacc pit in the end of episode
at the end of Return of the Jedi,
and then he escapes. Right.
Yeah.
In this show,
that was like 6 years ago at the point of this show.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so was he fat though in those movies?
Okay, so hold on. There's so much.
He's been fat.
So much to unpack.
That implies that he was fat back then, and I don't remember those movies and him being fat.
So first of all, I noticed
and I don't remember that that would be another thing. So he back then he was like in his 50s and he was the baddest hunter in the planet.
Yeah.
All right,
yeah. Okay. So there's a couple of weird things. Regarding his body type, I did know. Look, he was a little chunky in Mandalorian. I did notice that he did trim down a little bit. Right, I don't think his potbelly is as bad. He's got broad shoulders, but for 61, I would kill to have his body right now. No problem. Like I was like, you know what? For 61, he's looking okay. But yes, the Sarlacc pit thing is weird because it's kind of like. He fell in young and skinny and then came out all fat and old. I don't even understand what exactly happened in the beginning there in the pit. Like there was another stormtrooper there and then he pulled out an oxygen hose, which we've never seen these stormtroopers attach a hose to their fucking helmet. Whatever. And then he like burned his way out the side and climbed out. I don't know.
Yeah, I think he burned his hole through the side of the Sarlacc.
I actually watched a nerdy ass video from Screen Crush and they were like, why is there a stormtrooper even in the Sarlacc pit?
Right, because there was no stormtrooper in that scene of Return of the Jedi. He must have been there from
not
before.
Then, but like, weren't the stormtroopers like not even interfering with Tatooine?
Oh, that's right. They were.
No, they were. Weren't they there on a search party at one point, looking for the droids?
This is you guys. I don't know.
They were maybe
not in Return of the Jedi. Maybe in Empire.
No, in Empire they were. In Jedi on Tatooine, there was. I don't think the Empire was there at that point.
Would the Empire have interfered with Boba Fett's empire or whatever the hell you would call it, kingdom, so that a stormtrooper would get thrown into a Sarlacc pit?
I don't know.
Without any consequence.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make a difference. It's just something I saw in a nerdy video.
The other detail is that like it takes like 1,000 years to digest something. The Sarlacc takes a long time, so he had all the time in the world to get out. I don't know why he just didn't fucking climb out the mouth or shoot out or grab. So I don't know. I was like, it's kind of weird. But overall, after the show ended, I was like, that's it. The fuck. That's all you're gonna give me. I felt like these shows, all the other shows, start with a bang. Like the first episode has something good, something crazy, something to hook you. And now this is like a book. So this was like a prologue setting things up. But even if you think of the first episode of The Mandalorian, like you saw him doing bounty hunter shit, and then it ends with that fucking reveal of Baby Yoda nobody saw coming. And this was just like, it was just like a prologue, like a filler. Like they started with a filler.
They're banking on the name.
I think it's too much banking on the name, and they needed to give us a little bit more, but maybe he put out 2
I did like
episodes.
the green pigs.
Oh, the Gamorrean guards are great. I was so glad they came back because that whole set, like I love that scene where they go into Jabba's, where he used to be, and it's all empty and quiet. And I remember it from Jedi where the girl on the chain was dancing and there was a Rancor underneath and Jabba's just having a fucking orgy party. And I had that set too. I had that toy of Jabba, and the Gamorrean. I had a Gamorrean guard. So I was so happy when he's like, why don't you just come work for me? You can still work here. And they're like, yes. In fact, they save him in that fucking slow-ass fight. Yes. Why was the fight so slow? Why don't you put his helmet on, for fuck's sake? Like, I like the Star Wars parkour, and when Ming-Na Wen, Fennec Shand is great. When she puts her helmet on and fights them, it's great because this is a stunt double. But when he's there,
it's like we just have people that are like in their 50s to 60s.
Yeah, this is a leading cast of senior citizens.
We need some young energy in here.
Now,
let me pose this question to you. Do you think it would be? I don't know how old she would be at this point. But Omega. What if we see Omega?
From Bad Batch. When does Bad Batch take place? That takes place
after Order 66.
Oh, so like
right after.
Right. Oh, so in the prequels. Oh shit. So yeah, she would be an adult now. Omega. That would be interesting.
She would be the same age as Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, and I kind of love in the beginning they show you the clips of him, picking up Jango Fett's helmet and all. So when he's in the back, the tank is a great narrative gimmick to show flashbacks. What else are you gonna do in the fucking tank?
What kind of alien was that he like tried to hey, let's get out of here, and the alien ratted him out that was chained up? Do you know what kind of alien that is?
That's
a Greedo, right?
It was similar to Greedo.
Excuse you? Guido?
Greedo was he was a Guido. He's wearing a wife beater, right?
Oh,
he was like, hey, let me out. Why am I tied up to this tree? What are you doing? No, it was Greedo who shot Han in the first New Hope. This was
green Greedo.
It was another Greedo.
I don't know what's the alien.
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know what they're called.
But you had the Aqualish. You had a bunch of aliens that we saw in other movies.
There was a lot of aliens.
Yeah, to come pay tribute. So I thought that part was interesting where the mayor's, the mayor's.
The who? The mayor.
The mayor's guy comes and he's like.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That was the only part where I was like, oh, they've got this guy that like they sent over as a consigliere or whatever,
yeah.
But he's actually like threatening.
Yes, he's this guy. He's like, I don't have a tribute. But what about our tribute? And he's like, my tribute is letting you walk the fuck out of here alive. And then I love when he's leaving. He's like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's another delegate that comes to visit you later. It's fucking.
That was a one part of the scene where I actually one of the things that I found intriguing.
Who do we think is the mayor of Mos Espa Rugs? There's a lot of theories about this, and the people from the Han Solo movie, the red, what are they called? The fucking that Kira Emilia Clarke's character worked for.
Yeah, with Darth Maul.
They might be involved, but we'll see.
Darth Maul's dead by now, isn't he?
I think he is. But this show is promising a lot of cameos and a lot of, even fucking Rodriguez was like, there's big moments every episode. And I was like, what happened? So basically, he comes out of the Sarlacc pit. The Jawas steal his shit, and then he has to prove himself to the Tusken Raiders. I did think that sand creature, it reminded me of like Harryhausen stop motion, like Clash of the Titans kind of stuff.
Same.
Right? It was kind of cool.
Kind of cool, yeah.
Like Ymir or something, yeah.
Yeah, and he had like two torsos.
The Jawas and the Tusken Raiders are two different things?
Yeah, the Jawas were those little dudes in the beginning wear the cloaks, and they're tiny.
Oh, yeah.
They
steal
like,
all
the shit. Yeah. But they're badass too, because Mando went up against them, and they fucking.
I wonder what the
you.
Tusken Raiders look without their helmets.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like,
because they're kind of like Mandalorians. They never take their helmets
I imagine
off.
They're like super disfigured or something. Must have fucked up.
What if they all look like Imran?
They all look like the same. I wouldn't be surprised.
Which ones were both the Tusken Raiders and the Jawas in Mandalorian? Was it just the Jawas?
The Jawas.
Yeah, they were both
in there in different episodes.
There was one episode where there was like a giant like garbage truck, and he kept jumping on it. Was that the Jawas?
Those are the Jawas.
The little ones?
Those are the little ones, and that's their vehicle. And then the Tusken Raiders ride these big woolly mammoth.
The difference is that the Jawas, like, they collect junk and they steal shit from people. Yeah. They're like scavengers.
They're scrappers, yeah. And the Tusken Raiders are like the fucking Fremen from Dune. They live in the desert.
They're the indigenous people of the.
So again, to your point, this is a Boba Fett that would spare a kid and help him out. And he kind of, I liked where he proved himself, and they finally gave him the water, and the fight. But like, wouldn't Boba have just killed them all and not give a fuck about the kid? Really, this is a different Boba.
Yeah, that's the problem. What you get when you try and make a movie about a villain.
Yeah,
like all of a sudden he's the nice guy, and it's not as cool. I like badasses. I like that's the fun of watching like Reservoir Dogs and fucking Pulp Fiction. Like, they're not supposed to be like great people. Right. They're just entertaining to watch.
Let me ask you guys one question, because I don't remember Boba Fett from the movies. Is he really that badass?
No, because he's barely on screen. He's only on screen for 2 minutes.
Boba Fett has like 6 lines and 4 minutes of screen time in the whole first 3 movies.
So he just became a cult classic because of, or like the
mystery
big thing
it.
Because of his helmet and the mystery.
Yeah.
Well, he was the coolest figure that you could get.
Yes.
So like when the toys came out, you're like, oh, that toy is fucking awesome. And they had this like, supposedly you could shoot a missile out of his back.
It had a shooting missile, and then kids were choking on it, and then they replaced that.
They like banned the figure, so like all of a sudden it became like a collectible. Yeah. So it was like a big
But
deal.
so they answered a question that, old school Star Wars fans have been waiting for since 1983 when they saw Boba Fett fall into the Sarlacc pit. How did he get out? But if you were a kid and you watched that, the answer was clear. He got out because you had the fucking toy, and Boba Fett fought all my G.I. Joes and Transformers. He lived on, and kind of the stories you made were even better than what you saw in the movie as a kid.
I remember
with Boba
just
Fett.
getting some kind of Marvel comic with Boba Fett in it, and he was badass in that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I'm like, oh man. I'm like, what movie does he do this in? I'm like,
None
Empire?
of them.
No, he doesn't do any of it in any movie. He just does nothing and gets thrown into the fucking Sarlacc pit.
The other part I kind of liked was when they go to the bar and the fucking Cantina band.
Geek boner.
Max Rebo's Cantina band is still gigging. They're still getting gigs. They're
back.
playing out.
That band I do remember from my
Right?
childhood.
That band is awesome. Do, 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 do. They're even playing like a variation of the Cantina band theme song. And then you see Jennifer Beals as a Twilight, and good God, does she look sexy as a fucking alien, I thought.
She was like a foot taller than
Oh my
Boba
God, she's
Fett.
so tall. And I was like, man, she's still fucking
I
Flashdance.
didn't remember her being that
The
tall.
Flashdance girl still looks good, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, she looks great.
And
They
then,
look good.
did you notice the other green alien Twi'lek that came over to? He's like, "Can we take your helmets? We'll shine them for you." That one looked exactly like Anthony. Anybody else get that?
Like
Did you
me?
see?
Oh.
Yes, it
Wait,
looked
what,
like
what's the green alien?
the green alien. He was topless. His chest, he was like jacked, and he had the Twi'lek antlers. He looked like you if you were painted green. I swear to fucking God, look it up right now.
I think that didn't hit me at all.
It's totally. I was like, that's the first thing.
Produce a link right now. Imran.
Find a link of that.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna. I'm watching the show
Oh, jeez.
on the stream. But when that dude walked up, I was like, "Holy shit, that alien looks like Anthony!" Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh shit.
Well, you have seen me shirtless. You took pictures of me
Yes,
shirtless.
that's
yeah.
why. If we painted you green and you had those tentacles, you could have been in this scene. That was
I don't want to
total-
provide any more context other than that.
Those
He's got
pictures.
pictures of me
Listen, you
shirtless.
sign up for $30 a month on Patreon, you may get to see those pictures. They're still around. Anyways, yeah, that's it. I mean, I was kind of underwhelmed, and I hope it fucking picks up. Maybe
Well, here it is. Yeah, I got a picture. Oh my God.
look, it looks like him. Put the link in. I'm gonna put a
It
screenshot.
does a little bit.
Put it
Not
in.
really a lot.
It will be the screenshot for this segment of the podcast. Is the
For
green alien?
what it's worth, I talked to my big Star Wars friend outside of you guys, and he
Yeah.
was even like, he said exactly the same things we're saying. He's like, I can't get over Boba Fett being fat, and it was a little slow.
It was a little slow. They need to pick it up. Look at that alien. It's Anthony. Come on. Oh my
I'll
God.
take it. Actually,
That's the compliment. He's the kid. The dude's
not the
fucking
same, but
jacked.
yeah, I see it.
I think your abs may be even better than this guy's.
Yeah, you're definitely more in shape than that guy.
But that's definitely
That's actually
Anthony
not bad.
as a green
I'll
Twilight.
take that.
Yeah.
He does. I
You
do
should
kinda
just
see it.
Photoshop your head on top of that.
If I could see if I painted myself green and looked posed, like I could see it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's a little bigger than me though. In terms of thickness.
he is a little bit.
Yeah, a little thicker. yeah.
Instantly, I was like, "Oh fuck, that's Anthony! Look, that's Anthony as an alien. This is
You think
amazing."
about Anthony a little bit too much.
Yeah, you are
It's the
thinking about it
first
a lot.
thing that came to mind. I don't know.
Wow.
The minute he sees like a chiseled body, he thinks of you.
Oh,
and
is that Anthony?
No, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. What the fuck? Shang-Chi.
Is that Anthony?
No.
No.
Jesus Christ. That's Camille Luciani.
Is that a brown Anthony? What's that? Anybody has abs? I'm like, are you Anthony? Yeah.
It's like a bird looking for his mom.
I'm looking for Anthony.
This
No.
just evolved. This is our first episode.
This is our funniest
How many-
episode
How many
ever.
people I went up to at C2E2 that had abs? I was like, "Are you Anthony?" All the cosplayers.
I'm looking for my Anthony. Where can I find him?
Anthony. Anyways, I hope it picks up. Maybe they could have put out
It's the
more
first episode,
It's
right?
the
How many
first
episodes are
episode.
in
7.
line? 7.
Yeah, but they could have put out 2. Something could have happened. Basically, nothing fucking happened. Like, very little happened.
We
That's
just
all.
know that someone's threatening him, and then we're going to get more flashbacks, right?
And more slow fights.
Well, that
no, the
flashback
flashbacks
at
are done.
first-
This should be
That's it?
done. It
No,
should
it
be
can't be done.
We found out everything we need to know from then to now.
He's gonna take another bath.
I think he's going to take more baths. Yeah. I was confused at first. That first flashback, I was like really thrown off. I was like, didn't we see him sitting on the throne? What's going on here? It
Yeah.
took me a second to figure out that was a flashback. Because I don't understand. I forgot. I didn't really understand the Sarlacc pit either at first.
Okay. See, yeah, that's confusing. It's confusing. That's
It's
some
not
deep
confusing.
cuts.
It's only confusing for me because I don't know anything.
I mean, you'd have to watch The Return of the Jedi. That's all. And you did, but you didn't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah.
That's the best part.
Which
And
one
it's
is that one? The third one?
The third one. And it's Han Solo's fault that he fell in there because he's all blind and he turned around and Chewie was like, Boba, where? And he goes, Boba, where? And turns around and hits him by accident. And so he has an embarrassing death too, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I saw the video online. He slides down the thing
like a bumbling
an
idiot. Yeah, it's like a bumbling
Did you
idiot.
watch the documentary on Disney on Boba Fett?
Under the Helmet. It's very good. You should watch that. That might give you more appreciation for him.
Yeah.
Is the third one also the one where everyone was hoping there was a love triangle and then they found out they were brother and sister and it got really weird?
Yes.
Leia and Luke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Because
fun.
the first
Yoda
movie
tells
there was... Yeah, first movie they didn't know
Well, he
that.
didn't write it that they were related. Yes. And you have
That was like a retcon.
and
awkward.
the third one, you have sexy Princess Leia costume.
Oh, I
Forever
like
Born.
that one. That's
Yes.
a good one. Yeah.
That's the one. Also, she chokes out Jabba with a chain, similar to how he choked out the fucking sand creature with a chain. It's always the chain with these people. Always get the chain and choke them out.
That was done by design.
Jabba died,
Yeah,
right?
Jabba was killed by Princess Leia, and then the whole fucking thing blew up and
Do we
went down in
think
flames.
we'll see some sort of Jabba relative come show up?
Maybe, because there was a lot of Hutts. The Hutts, they talk about how the Hutts were carried around, and he's like, no, I want to walk around on my own 2 feet. So he's trying to do things
Pizza the
differently.
Hutt is gonna
There's Pizza the Hutt from Spaceballs, who ate himself to death when he got locked in the trunk.
Hut
I
1,
believe
Hut
that's
2,
how-
Hut 3. Yeah, there.
But the Hutts are a family. So that's a good question. Also,
Right.
Bib Fortuna took over when Jabba did. What happened to him? Did he die?
I think he killed him.
Oh, no, but he was in. Oh, he died too at the end? No,
Yeah, he was the one sitting on the throne when he. I think.
oh,
he
at
had,
the end. That's right. In Mandalorian.
'cause-
Yeah, he
'cause
killed him. That's right.
Leia killed Jabba. Bib Fortuna took over
And then
for Jabba,
Boba
and then he
kills
came
Bib
over.
Fortuna, yeah.
Yeah, he killed Bib Fortuna.
I'm in charge now. He's got a good voice, though. He's got like a great voice for it.
He's
But
got a good voice.
you should keep the fucking helmet on a little bit more so you could throw a stunt double in there. That's all I'm saying.
It's funny because what's his face? The last actor, not Pablo.
Pedro
Pascal.
Pedro Pascal
went almost 2 seasons without taking off his helmet with no problem. And this guy's like, I gotta take it off
right away
in my own show and in the show I cameoed on.
Yeah, you're kind of demystifying the coolness that was the Boba Fett. He still has that ding in his helmet, which he's had since those movies. So
I think if they make a couple of costume tweaks and they just have the right director and they know to keep the helmet on during the action sequences, I think they could really take this to a different level.
he did have one badass moment after he takes the creature down and then he like stands up and the sun is behind him. Robert Rodriguez loves those shots where the sun is right behind your hero.
My favorite thing about Boba Fett, this first episode, is when he fucking just shoots the missile at that guy and blows him into
Oh yeah,
smithereens.
just right there. He kills the one parkour
like
dude.
that's Boba
Yeah.
Fett. That's what he should be doing. He should have that mean streak. He should have that fucking killer instinct.
I cheered at that moment when the Gamorrean guards started charging them. I was like, "Fuck yeah, get him!"
Do you remember his fight scene in The Mandalorian? How fucking brutal it was?
Dude, he used the Tusken Raider stick and he was demolishing stormtroopers. Remember, the pieces were flying. I want to see that shit.
What if? Yeah, well, it was Robert Rodriguez.
That
did
was
that
the
one, so,
Robert Rodriguez episode where she does the.
What did he like? What happened?
Remember, Fennec Shan
in
does
show?
the jump, turn around, 2 guns, fucking shot, which I love.
Yeah, Desperado shot.
Where is that Boba Fett? I hope they don't soften him too much. Anyways, we'll see.
Yeah, we need that.
I'm watching Boba Fett on repeat fall into the Sarlacc pit, and it's great.
Just on a loop. I believe that's the Wilhelm scream too. Maybe that they just cut.
Maybe.
They cut on
He
top.
just
of it.
rockets into like a fucking ship and hits his head and falls into the Sarlacc.
Because Han hit his
It's
fucking
so
boosters.
bad.
God, you think if you were a good bounty hunter, you wouldn't have a switch that activates your booster back there that you can't
fucking
reach.
monster burps.
Yes. And that's what Lucas added back in the mouth. Like that little mouth part, that was added in later. Originally, it was a set that was just those tentacles.
The beak.
Yeah.
Beak, yeah.
And then he added the little mouth
Lucas
thing.
did love to add.
Oh my God, he added
movie.
so much fucking. He went and just littered the sky with spaceships in every scene. I'm like, this is not necessary. It's fine. You don't have to add spaceships everywhere. There's an empty space, you fucker.
He's like, just put a little spaceship.
Put another one there. Oh, there's a
Just-
space
just
over
had
there.
like a monster or like a little like camel run in front of the camera.
Yeah,
at
for
the
no
last second.
reason.
Yeah,
It was ridiculous.
those are funny. These are Star Wars is funny to me.
Star Wars is funny. All right, look, let's do some news from the nation because we got comments about this episode from our listeners. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
Flush it.
Whoa. Well, I felt the air from that one through the headphones. That's weird.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
That one tickled the ear. Good job. Daryl K.
The dulcet tones.
Daryl K says, okay, so nitpick. They couldn't get someone smaller to portray Boba digging out of the Sarlacc. Boba went in young and fit and came out bloated and old. Yeah, a little bit. David Zika says C-. They're definitely relying on reputation to keep people watching. Not a good start. It is a slow start. Rick
We
Martinez.
did not coordinate that, by the way.
What's that?
That was his own opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but they're both right. Like, it's clear. They're just relying on the name. Rick Martinez says the fight scene with the Red Shield ninjas a bit too slow. It's a little slow.
When you have 75-year-old actors playing the roles.
Yeah. I mean, again, I'd kill for his body now, but yeah, maybe a little more conditioning. Keep the helmet on. I don't know.
It's not the fact that Tamara Morrison is like, it's just the guy that was in the movie and the guy, like, he played Jango Fett when he was like in his prime.
Right.
And then that was a different character than Boba Fett. Boba Fett was his son, and that was played by a completely different dude in like the 80s and 70s. And that was much different build than him. So it's like hard to make the transition. So a little bit.
Yeah. Little bit. And then Jose Ibarra brought up the thing you brought up earlier, Ruggs. He said, did anyone else get the homage to Parks and Rec? That had to be intentional, right? So, Anthony.
Yes.
In the show Parks and Rec, this video is posted in 2013. This happened many years ago. There is a scene where Patton Oswalt does a filibuster in like a city council room, right? So these people can't make this vote. This scene that he does, the full clip is available online. It is 8 minutes long, and it's all complete improv.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Right? And he nerds out about Star Wars. So listen to this. I have the clip of just where he's describing this and how closely it matched what they actually did.
Then, pan down from the twin suns of Tatooine, we are now close on the mouth of the Sarlacc pit. After a beat, the gloved Mandalorian armor gauntlet of Boba Fett grabs onto the sand outside the Sarlacc pit, and the feared bounty hunter pulls himself from the maw of the sand beast.
Okay, this is exactly...
and we realize that
she
survived his fall during the battle at Jabba's palace ship.
She tries to interrupt, but they did it right down to the twin sons of Tatooine and the hand coming out. Like, that had to be on purpose, right? It had to.
Oh, that was definitely a callback to that.
And then I'll put the clip in the show notes if you listen to the rest of it. This is in 2012, 2013. He brings Thanos into it. He goes, and then Thanos shows up. He has all the stones. He's like, I'm combining franchises. And he just goes on. And at the end, he's like, okay, can we cut? I have no more saliva in my mouth.
I remember that.
It was so good, dude. It was good. And everybody just gets up and leaves. But for 8 minutes.
But I think you could do the same thing. You're giving him all this praise, but I guarantee you, if I said 8 minutes, Imran,
I could just make up a thing. Yeah. Really, he'd been thinking about this for a long time, though. I feel like he had been working on this bit. He's like, man, if I ever did Star Wars.
It's just impressive to you because you're like, oh, there's another person that can do that.
I could easily do that.
Yeah,
but I love the callback.
Imran takes a bump, and we'll talk for 6 hours about exactly the same thing.
I don't even need the drugs. I'll do it right now. Let's go. Spider-Man opens with Spider-Man on the rooftop. Okay, now I'm not going to do it. And the last thing I wanted to bring up was this graphic I posted in the Facebook group from Fandango. Their users voted the top 10 most anticipated 2022 movies. Interesting list, some surprising things. We'll go in reverse order. Number 10, Mission Impossible 7, starring Tom Cruise. Number 9, Top Gun Maverick, movie that's has supposed to come out 5 years ago.
Oh my God, it's not out yet?
No, it's still not out.
Whoa,
so
yeah, that movie.
You got 2 Tom Cruise movies, 10 and 9, right? Number 8, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Aquaman sequel. Number 7 is Avatar 2. That's actually coming out this year? I don't believe it. Number 6, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Number 5, Jurassic World Dominion. Number 4, Thor: Love and Thunder. Number 3 is The Batman. Number 2, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. Number 1 most anticipated movie by Fandango users, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Geek boner.
Any comments on this list of movies?
I would change the order a bit, but yeah. I would take 3, 4, and 5 and move them to the 1, 2, 3 spot.
I thought Batman would go higher.
And then I would put Doctor Strange right under Jurassic World Dominion, or probably in front of Jurassic World Dominion. And then Spider-Man and Black Panther underneath that. So, yeah, it would just change the order a little bit. It would flip it upside down.
Where does Avatar land for you?
It's in the same spot, like 7 or 8.
In the middle.
Probably, yeah.
Anthony, these movies say anything about anything?
As I mentioned before, franchises are the thing.
There you go.
Although you got big name actors as well in them, so you have the combination, the combo platter right there, surf and turf. The only movies I'm not anticipating of these are Top Gun and Mission Impossible.
You know what? The Mission Impossible, the last few, Rogue Nation, or
they're good, right?
Ghostwell, they're fucking great, dude. Some of the
really good,
amazing action scenes, really good story. So 7 and 8, I believe they were filming back to back, and I'm dying to see that. Did you see Tom Cruise was like strapped on top of a biplane, flying around, and they weren't even shooting the movie. He was testing a stunt for the movie, but he strapped himself on top of the plane.
Sure. That seems like exactly what he would do. I think this is it for Tom Cruise, though. I think he's got to go out now with a blaze of glory and just stop doing this movie. 7, and then there's 8. I think there's 2. Yeah. But you think he's done? He could still run really cool. I think that it's coming to an end. Like I would rather stop before it starts to really take a dip.
Yeah.
Like I feel like he could probably do one or two more movies. He's 60 years old, isn't he, or something?
He's he's up there too. Yeah, he's close. Yeah. I got some comments from the listeners about this list. Ray O'Neill says, I guess most anticipated would be Avatar 2. How many years? First movie I took my lady to was Avatar 11 years ago. Which is crazy that this thing's coming out. Blake Braden said 3 surprises. 1, thought Batman would be at number 1. 2, Doctor Strange only at number 6. And 3, no sign of the Flash movie. Nobody's aware of the Flash
movie. Yeah.
I feel like it doesn't have any awareness. I would put that in here.
Yeah, I would have put that actually up here.
Instead of Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Possibly. And then Jose Escamilla says... Escamilla. I
like it.
He says, for me, it's Avatar. We've all heard a second one was coming. I just didn't realize it would take a decade. And then Nick Shev to counter says, LOL, no one gives a rat's ass about Avatar.
I do.
Don't be an asshole.
I love James Cameron, so I'm going to fucking watch anything he makes.
I enjoy James Cameron. I just wish in the time he's had from Avatar to making Avatar 2, he would have made other movies.
No, he's been underwater mostly.
I know. He's been sitting underwater.
Finding old ships.
15 years.
I feel like, it's a long wait, and I don't really care that it's Avatar. Like, I could give a shit that it's Avatar. I just want to see another James Cameron movie.
I want to see what technology he pushes, he brings forward. The shit that he's developing by the time he started is going to be outdated by the time this movie comes out. Listen, buy Avatar 4 or 5. It should be in a virtual fucking Oculus. I should be in the movie. Like, the Na'vi should be poking me in the ass. Like, it should be that real, James Cameron.
It's interesting that James Cameron, I mean, he's definitely one of the greatest directors ever, but it's interesting that, like, he made Avatar, which by all accounts is kind of like there's not really anything to mine after, like, the end of that. He ends it in a way that's just a solo movie, and then he's like, you know what? I love this so much that I'm going to make 3 more 15 years later.
15 years
It's just
later.
a strange journey to this sequel.
It is strange, but you have to remember when it came out, it was the thing for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it was the highest grossing movie up until Endgame.
They put it back in theaters and it made more money.
I watched it 3 or 4 times in the theater, and I remember watching it, and it, like, for a while brought back 3D, which was a thing that's died again.
That was the first 3D movie I saw in like a long time when that came out.
So it did have a huge impact. And I think that he wanted to just round it out with a third franchise, but I think he got distracted by trying to find Atlantis or some shit.
Well, and that's what's going to be funny is he's going to have to compete with the underwater worlds of Aquaman.
Imagine that he actually found like real fucking mermaids
Then
and
he put
shit.
him in the movie. He's like, this is
And
not
he's like,
special
oh,
effects.
he's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking fool everybody. I fucking found
How crazy is
mermaids.
this? That's a real mermaid, bitch. I'm James Cameron. Fuck, They only act for me.
Imagine. Look, we're laughing about it,
Could be,
right?
could
But
happen.
this could fucking happen.
Because the 2 is like all underwater. There's been some photos that come out.
He's been fucking down under places where no one's ever seen. He probably
or
fucking
he
saw a
turned
mermaid.
into like a fish person himself. Like he genetically altered himself
I
to
think
shoot
he's
this
like
movie.
fucking a manatee. Is that what's going on?
Just so he could breathe underwater to get this shot. Give me the camera. I'm going down there. Fucking Cameron, better surprise
I just want to
us.
know what he's gonna do next. I just hope that he gets this fucking Avatar out of his system and goes and does like
It's
one
going
more
to take
cool
another
movie.
25 years for him to do something that's not Avatar.
So I'm looking at, I put in Avatar 2 in Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And new cast members will include Kate Winslet, Cliff Curtis, I don't know who that is, Eddie Falco, Brendan Cowell, Michelle Yeoh, Jeremy Clement, Ona Chaplin, Vin Diesel, and CJ Jones.
Oh, shit.
In addition to Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Stephen Lang, Sigourney Weaver, and all the rest
And
of
the
the
original
people that
cast.
were in it.
Wow, they got the Vin Diesel, huh? Couldn't get the Rock, huh, Cameron? Had to settle for Diesel. That's what happened.
See what happened with Vin Diesel and The Rock?
Yeah. Yeah, when did the Rock is like, fuck you to him?
Vin Diesel publicly was like, come back to Fast
Right.
10. And The Rock was like, you asshole.
No.
We already talked about this. I'm not coming back.
Don't you remember? I was drunk. I don't remember. Wow, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it was a really embarrassing response.
All right, my
Rock.
most anticipated.
Well, he's stupid for doing it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. I'm excited for the Batman and Black Panther and Doctor Strange. I don't know. This is a weird list. Let's finish with what are we watching? Cobra Kai, check, everyone. Anthony, where you at?
That's what I was watching yesterday. I hadn't watched an episode, and then I pounded through 5 right
Yeah, they're
right away.
real
So
easy to watch.
very easy watch. We'll probably review it next
week. Ruggs, did you watch it?
I finished it.
Yeah, I watched it in like most of it in a day, and then I saved like the last 2 episodes for the next day.
I was like, the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, this shit is so fucking cheesy.
Oh my God, it's
so terrible.
It's hilarious.
And then I'm like, God, I shouldn't watch this. Then all of a sudden, Johnny does something so awesome. Like he just is an asshole.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes,
I'm back in.
I need to watch this more.
My friend Ed said the same thing, and I completely agree. There's points in these first 5 episodes where I'm just like, holy fuck, that is so bad.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard.
cheeseball.
Yes.
And then by the end of it, I'm like, next episode. I gotta keep watching this.
Like every single time it gets a little bit so cheesy that you feel like you're watching like a 90s like Beverly Hills 90210 or something. Then all of a sudden, Johnny Lawrence calls someone a pussy. And then, all right, okay, we're back.
It's very
There's the one scene in the bar where he's sitting there and the guy's like, hey, like you guys got to keep it down. He's like, shut the fuck up. Buzz off. And then it's just like, I just was like, this is amazing. This is still funny.
The cheese is so funny and entertaining, though. Like, I was laughing and rolling my eyes at the same time. It's like,
I have my criticisms, but I got to finish it.
Yeah, I think it'll be a fun discussion. A lot of crazy shit happens. Fun season. You kind of see where it's going next season. So they've already shot that. Hopefully they can put it out real
Holy
quick.
shit.
Yeah, it's done filming. You watch anything else, Anthony?
Trying to think. No, just sports.
just
But
sports.
you guys don't care about that. So
No, we don't. Ruggs, what do you watch?
I watched, what the fuck did I watch? I watched the I Love Lucy.
Oh, Being the Ricardos. I like that. What'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I thought it was very good. I thought they're going to probably get nominated
They're
for
going to
Oscars.
get some Oscar noms for sure.
What else did I watch? I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was fucking great with the KKK guy. It was amazing.
You know what? This last season, though, I feel like he may need to end the show. It wasn't, didn't hit quite like the previous seasons.
I didn't watch the whole season.
I watched the whole season. I watched the season finale. A crazy
I
plot
like the
lines.
watermelon thing
Yeah, that
and
was
the
funny.
KKK guy. I thought that was both funny. I like watermelon.
So there's one line I heard JB Smoove say that I was dying, and it's the episode where he's got a roofer coming over to his house, and the roofer is this kind of large fat man, and he just looks at him, and they're like, "You gonna go up there? Like, you're gonna go up there?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go up there." And he goes up there, and he walks around, and like you hear creaking constantly, and they're freaking out. And JB Smoove goes, "That motherfucker is FAT positive." And I started laughing so hard. I've never heard anybody put it that way.
Dude, he said some of the shit he
He
says
has some
make me
fucking
laugh.
killer lines. I was like, "Oh fuck, FAT."
I love
my God.
JB Smoove.
He's hilarious. He's so funny as Leon. Leah.
Oh my God.
Come on, Larry.
Yeah. So I watched that, and then I watched Louis C.K.'s new special, Sorry. He talks a lot about pedophilia and other stuff.
You can only get this off his website, right? It's not streaming
He does
anywhere.
this whole bit on Good Will Hunting and how much he hates Good Will Hunting because the whole thing is predicated on if the guy likes apples or not. Like, what if he said, no, I don't like apples? Like, how do you finish the joke? How do you like damn apples? Anyway, so it's just some fun. There was some funny shit in there. It wasn't his best, but like it's definitely entertaining. And I was like, I'm just curious to see what he had to say. And
not canceled.
Well, I mean, he has to put out.
He has to put it
no one
out.
will put out
he has to put it on
himself.
his own. Yeah, he's not. He can't. No streaming service will take this, will they?
Right.
But he's.
And I heard that speaking of Patton Oswalt, I heard that he did a gig with Dave Chappelle, and now he's getting shit.
I
for that.
heard about that too, and it's kind of dumb. Why? He's getting why? Just because it doesn't make any sense.
Because you're not allowed to associate with
They're
people.
fucking comedians hang out. They do shows with each other. What's the problem?
Yes.
What's the fucking problem?
Can't associate. Can be in the same room.
Everybody relax.
Stand up for yourself. Show your integrity. God damn it.
I wore my Dave Chappelle shirt out maybe like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
And a couple patted me on the shirt. They're like, "Let me see your shirt." I showed it to them, and they gave me the biggest thumbs up. I was really like, "That's awesome."
What's on the shirt exactly?
It's the Chappelle bunch, and it's just like different variations of Dave Chappelle from the Chappelle show.
His characters, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
different characters.
Right.
Like, you know.
All right, so you didn't get fucking.
They were older though, but
okay.
they enjoyed the shirt. They were like, "That's awesome."
Nobody's thrown stuff at you yet, though.
Not yet. I've only worn it out once.
Okay,
and I'm very careful. Like
where.
I gotta be around the audience that would understand.
Isn't
like,
that
hey,
dumb though? You got to think about where you're going when you're wearing a shirt. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah,
it's fucking silly.
Around an audience that's watched the show and understands that I'm supporting the Chappelle show.
Right. I'm wearing this because I ironically hate him. I don't know. You got to come up with an argument for the other side. Just to, I don't know.
I'll just look down. I didn't even know I put this on.
Oh, that's Dave. I don't even know who that is. I'm
who's
sorry.
this?
I
I
found
just like
this in the thrift store.
I like the colors.
Yeah, this was in my hamper. I don't know where I got this. They're fucking throwing shit at you. I watched a couple of fun things. HBO has this new show out. It's a TV series called Station 11. It's based on a novel from 2014. And it's about a virus in a post-apocalyptic world where a virus kills everyone and people have to survive. So similar, but they worked on this before. The thing this show does, though, it is told non-linearly. So it's kind of neat because there are scenes where you're day one of the virus, and you're like a year later, 2 years later, and then it'll jump to like 20 years later, and then it jumps back to like the day of, and then it'll jump to 5 years, and it'll go back, and it'll jump forward, kind of piecing these stories together as it unfolds. Kind of like Lost when they did the flashbacks, so you learn about these characters. Mackenzie Davis is in this. You may remember her from Terminator Dark Fate. She was wasn't she a hybrid?
She was a hybrid
girl?
Terminator, yeah.
Yeah, she's really good. And Himesh Patel, brown guy, he's one of the leads. He was in something we talked about
That's
last
why you
episode.
threw it on, huh?
No, I don't know. I heard it was a good show.
Okay.
The acting is actually really good. The performances are good. It's not bad. The 7 episodes are out, and it's well done. I liked it. And then the other thing I watched that's completely different, Silent Sea on Netflix. It's a Korean sci-fi show.
Look at you watching Korean stuff.
Yeah, and they got one of the dudes from Squid Game and Train to Busan, the salesman guy who was the recruiter guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's in this. And this is about a 24-hour mission to the moon where these space explorers are trying to get samples from this abandoned research facility, and crazy shit happens. It's not bad. It's good sci-fi. It holds up with, like, you're lost in space and American kind of sci-fi shows. So Silent Sea, I'm checking it out. It's good. And then I did see a comedy special. Ruggs, it was the Jim Gaffigan special called Comedy Monster on Netflix.
Any good?
It's fucking hilarious. This is one of the last few guys who could be funny and be clean. Like, he's one of the great clean comics. You know his bit where he does like the whisper inside voice of the audience? Like, I love that. It's so funny. And he's talking about being a parent and having kids and the coronavirus and quarantine. I was fucking crying. It's very good. And like,
I might check it out.
He's hilarious and he doesn't swear at all. And it's just really good delivery, good writing.
He's always a solid guy.
And his inside voice fucking shtick is fucking hilarious. He's just like, Jim, you're a monster. Just saying what everybody's thinking.
I do get tired of that after a while, but yeah, it's good. I'm curious.
He doesn't overdo it. He does it just enough and he does it right. But
I just remembered I watched Don't Look Up.
Oh, you did? What did you think of that?
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I think it's good.
I liked it. A lot of people don't like that. It's very.
It is overly preachy, and I think they could have.
It's heavy-handed, yes.
I think they could have given it more nuance.
That's not Adam McKay, though.
No.
But because what happens is at the beginning of the movie, it's played so straight,
Right.
and then by the time they get to the president, like then it just goes off the rails
almost.
Yeah, and like those things don't play. It makes the movie worse.
It reminded me of Idiocracy. Suddenly.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like this idea of like, I think it would be great to show how it, because basically this is not a critique on Trump, really, because that's what they tried to force. I think what happened is, this is what it is. If you look at it overall, it's a critique of the media, like the media and social media, and how vapid everybody is, and how nobody actually gives a shit about anything, and not only that, but how information just gets bastardized and refocused and re-aimed and whatever, repackaged or dismissed. And then you have something about like the Trumpian, presidential responsibility to tell the truth and whatever, and be altruistic and not about themselves. But I think once you introduce that element, you're trying to do two things at once, like make a parody of the presidency and at the same time make this message, and it gets sloppy. They could have played it a little bit more straight. They could have still said the same things. I just think the tones didn't match.
It slips between satire and parody, and I wish he had just like picked one and stayed with that. Right? That's kind of the issue.
But it was still fun to watch, and I still thought it was poignant.
I thought the cast was great, and it is like, it's almost so funny because you could see this happening in real life. It's kind of like that. It's funny because it's sad and true. There are 2 post-credit scenes. I had to go back. I did not know. I had to go back and watch them later.
There's 2?
There's 2. There's one at the middle and one at the end. They're kind of funny.
I also watched a kind of, if you want to watch something that's not as good as The Witcher, but kind of in the same wheelhouse, but less budget, like 0 budget, there's a show called Beowulf.
A new Beowulf? This is old.
I think it's relatively new. In the past, like maybe within past 5 years, it takes place, in I guess northern somewhere, the Netherlands or something.
2016.
Yeah, and basically, Beowulf, the hero, returns to the whatever where the big fucking hall is, and there's the Mudborn, which are all these creatures that start attacking this village, and he has to he goes there because his father figure dies, and he's going there for his funeral, and he gets embroiled into, killing off these monsters for them, and then all of a sudden he gets sucked into this whole sibling rivalry that he has with his adopted brother.
Called Beowulf Return to the Shieldlands.
Yes. And so I'm about 3 episodes in. It's not amazing, but it scratches that itch for, sword and shield and monsters.
Who wrote that shit, Chaucer?
No. It's like an ancient fucking poem.
It's an old father. Oh yes. Oh my God.
It's like Gilgamesh and Beowulf. They're Gilgamesh is the first epic
old English
heroic
epic poem,
and then Beowulf is the first one from the western side.
it was written between 975 and 1025.
Yeah,
it's anonymous Beowulf poet. Okay, I'm thinking of Canterbury Tales. That's why I said Chaucer. That's
Chaucer's
wrong.
Canterbury Tales.
All right, Beowulf is always good stuff to mine from because it's got monsters and shit.
It's public domain.
Yes, public domain now extends 1926.
Anthony, do you know the story of Beowulf? He's looking at someone.
Some guy with a sword.
Yeah, he's just a dude with a sword.
That's all I know.
That's all it is. He's just the epic hero. That's all it is.
It's a poem of a guy, dude with a sword killing monsters.
Is that what it is?
I think, mostly.
Wasn't there like an animated movie called Beowulf?
Yeah, with Angelina Jolie.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I thought that was pretty badass. The CG is now very dated, and very like uncanny valley where it like looks like weird.
Uh-huh.
But it was still pretty epic.
2007.
You know?
Oh, that was 2007 CGI.
Directed by Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah, who did Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And then he does like Polar Express, I think, later with that same technology.
That's how I knew about Beowulf, was because of that movie.
Yeah. I never saw that. I
never saw it either. I just remember seeing previews of this movie that looked cool for the time, and I was like, oh man.
All CG.
It's available. I would check it out. It's a really quick watch. And what's his name from Back to the Future is Grendel, the bad guy.
Oh, it's on
the dad.
YouTube.
The dad. Yeah,
Crispin Glover is the day. It's on free. It's free on YouTube right now, apparently.
On YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. YouTube occasionally has free movies. There are free movies on YouTube.
What?
They're hard to find. They don't advertise them, but you can find free movies.
I'll tell you one scene. Okay, I'll tell you about this movie, and this is not a kid's movie.
Okay.
All right. So Beowulf goes to the Great Hall to kill this beast, because that's what it is. He looks for monsters and he finds it and he kills them. So he goes there and he's like, all right, I'm going to kill this fucking monster. And he's like super macho Beowulf. Like, he's not scared of shit. All right. So what does he do is he gets buck naked. And he's like, all right, I'm going to fight this dude naked. And then he does. He fights him naked.
Oh, you're really exposed that way, though.
Wow. Like the Greeks or the Spartans used to do. They used to fight naked.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm going to fight this monster naked.
Wow. And this is like, animated, so they should see his animated dick?
No, they're like, there's like conveniently placed shadows so you don't see his junk. But yeah, there's definitely, he fights him naked. I just thought it was great.
Well, Imran got naked in a music video once.
Not a though. That's two separate stories. There was a student film. I danced with an old black woman in the music video.
Like back in the day, back in the 80s, if you were going to fight somebody, you had to take your shirt off.
You definitely had to take your shirt off.
That was the sign. Oh, we're going to fight? Okay.
Yeah. So in an 80s movie, you have to take your shirt off. And then, you're going to see something.
And in 550
that
AD, you had to get naked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're fighting monsters. You fight them naked. They don't know.
Yeah. You gotta get some Crisco out and grease yourself up for this monster. So you slip
some fucking whale fat. Rub that shit on me. I'm going into battle. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
All right, that's good for this week, everybody. Catch up on the Cobra Kai. We'll be reviewing that and the Boba Fett. Hopefully, something happens on Boba Fett we can talk about next week. Ruggs, where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
Follow him there. Follow us. Check our show notes for this episode, jockandnerd.com/416 for links to everything we talked about, how to get in touch, how to support the show. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. Share the show with a friend. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, me too.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's really good.